Recording.
Welcome.
Yeah, there we go. Strong start. We're gonna be just. This is a strong start there, man. I got the whole crew here, so we're just gonna.
It's me.
We're gonna go over this entire
doc.
doc.
Bottom ball.
I might leave soon.
yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
All right. So basically, we're just gonna be going over this doc by Walt, or we're just gonna call him Walt, because this man, like, we couldn't even properly respond to like this doc in a formal manner because he purposely just like disabled the option to make this like a copy to type on, or even like the copy and paste option. I can't do anything, so I'm resorting to this. So it's just pretty much the gist, right? So let's go over like point one of the video. He's gonna try to like debunk, right, or debunk, rebunk, blah 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 blah. So
Yeah, he agrees with point one.
yeah,
I do want to say, because me and Will have definitely discussed like this whole like GER, King Crimson, like that kind of stuff for like quite a while, and like in regards to that, like I remember, and I think maybe even some random dude, you can attest to this, like that he kind of said he didn't want to like discuss like specifically the time erasure part because like he didn't think he'd actually have a good argument when discussing that with me.
Bro, he had like I know he had trash arguments. I just remember that for a fact. Like, oof, they were bad. But
You want to know a trash argument I had once?
No, Jobber, it's because he doesn't speak English.
True. Like, he can't have in VC to just like one shot me, prove he doesn't speak it. But anyways, like, point two of the video, GR stats don't refer to as physical stats. Now you just quoted me, so I just not have to address this really. So he says the debunk. This is partly true, while most of GR stats refer to return to zero. Not all do. The stat that doesn't refer to return to zero is the destructive power, but I'll discuss in more detail in the next point. This is a clear misinterpretation of the stand description, so let's begin by clarifying. Stand descriptions are divided into three parts: the name of the user and stand stats, brief explanation of the ability. The third part is not a further elaboration on the stand stats, rather it focuses solely on stands like abilities regardless of the stats. Like, wait, what? Wait a minute. I don't think he doesn't get it. He doesn't think there's like a clear separation. Okay, so he says some examples you may be wrong. First example, Sky High. This stand has none. Wait, it says has none in destructive force, speed, precision, and the growth potential. Sky High's ability is like the rods. Funny how their main feature is their speed, yet the stand stats have speed as none. That blatantly.
Okay, wait. The counterpoint for that point, the thing of how the main feature is their speed. The literal stand itself literally has no speed, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I don't think. The point he missed is that like the reason why I brought up these different stands like Sky High and Kiss, for example, is that I'm basically when it comes to stand stats, I was making an example that here's an example of Sky High where it just refers to the stand physically. That's why it has low destructive force. So when he says that blatantly proves it is referring to the rods, it's just referring to Sky High's ability. Wait, rather than Sky High itself. Wait. No,
but that's the thing.
It's on its body. It's Sky High's literally the ability that's on his arm, his wrist. That's so.
Wait, I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think the rods will even like be like would they even like count as part of the stand because they're like separate beings?
Yeah, they're separate beings. Like he says, like it says the stand stats have like
So they have a stand stat in referencing like something that isn't a stand is kind of silly, don't you think?
It's really interesting. It's like so when it comes to the stand stats for Sky High specifically, it's just mentioning literally the ability, like the stand itself, just on Rikiel's body, which is like why it has like a none in destructive force, speed, precision, right? And like like Walt even says this is the reason why the stand has has stats of like none because it just doesn't do anything. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to figure out, like, wait, so what was? I'm trying to figure out what was wrong with the example, because the point of me bringing up Sky High is that here's a stand that its stats literally just refer to just literally the stand. That's why it has none. This stands on his arm or his wrist or whatever.
You missed the point. That's what.
Yeah, he just missed it. So he's like, yeah, here's a one-shot debunk. No, there's nothing wrong with that. And then with Kiss, now this is the funny part. He says, oh, for Kiss, Jojo Veller states that the performance of Kiss is quite excellent. It's just a stand that was really used in the part, so it's hard to think that the stand has high stats. So he didn't have a counter argument.
It's shown to have high stats.
Dude, no,
right?
he didn't. Yeah, he just didn't give a counter argument here.
So the scan he provides, it's crazy because the reason why I brought up Kiss is because I said that literally the stand is just its stand stats is referring to the ability of Kiss. That's why like it's a bit like its stats are so high in the first place. Like that's even it says it right here. The main focus is on the ability to return to objects that have like both applicable high, abilities and high stats and the
Like, the
damage
entire
that
point.
accompanies them. Right. So
Like,
Mhm.
It's not really
whole point is
disproving
about-
your point. It's just more so agreeing with it.
yeah, exactly. But
the whole point of you bringing up like these other stands and their stand stats is to prove that stand stats can refer to both like the physical
The
stats
ability and the
also
physicals.
ability.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
And in the case of GER, it's referring to the ability, and then you're giving examples of proving different stands that are referring to like the ability.
exactly. And when it comes to like other things, like let's say for example, like Star Platinum, right? It's like every time it's talked about, it's mainly its physical stats. And when it had time stop, like time stop was like literally just for like there for like a sentence saying it's just the strongest ability. But generally, we know like the stats of Star Platinum just refer to its physical stats. It's always been like that, right? So
Yeah.
that's what it mainly just does. So for Sky High,
All right, I'm
it's a
probably gonna
stand
go right now. See you guys.
All right, have a good one. But like, for the
Alright.
example, the Sky High stand is obviously just referring to stand physically. For Kiss, it's just referring to the ability. But the weird thing is that he slightly, I guess he has a, I think he thinks I'm misinterpreting things or something. I don't know. I don't know what his one shot is, but
Like,
his
The example of like, this, it was you trying to prove that like stand stats can refer to both the ability or the like physical stats, right?
yeah,
And in GER, it's like literally referring to its ability.
yeah,
And there's like more elaboration within like the little text they give for like under the stand stats that it's explicitly talking about its ability.
yeah, and it just doesn't do both.
Mm.
It's either one or the other. Now, and his conclusion is most of GR stats referring to return to zero. No, all of them do. All of them do. So he didn't prove
Bruh.
like any of this shit. So he's already wrong like from the get go. We already debunked like what was it, point 2? All right, so that was pretty easy. All right, point 3 of the video. Also, GR's AP refers to revert to 0. Okay, now we go down here to this line us free bunk, debunk, blah blah blah. The first part of the argument falls under. Oh no, he's using fallacies. It says the first part of the argument falls under a fallacy known as non sequitur. Just because there is an image to the left that shows the ability in action doesn't mean that the text is describing this right. But what's really ironic is that he has the goal to like pull up that fallacy, but then like I think where is it? I'm pretty sure where is this? It says declaration. It says because he mentions I think the arrow like pointing towards like certain things to imply like what is actually being talked about in the stand guides, which is really ironic. I think I saw that right here. Let me take a look if I can find it. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. It says attack.
No, I think you scrolled past it. Like I think you need to scroll up.
Scroll up. Let me look here. Where's the arrow? I know he talked about it like some point. Maybe I'm just like really blind right now.
Like right there, like the link, like you're just hovering over.
Right here. Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay. Yeah, I was blind. Okay, so basically, he immediately contradicts himself. He's like, "Well, this point is wrong because in the guides, when describing it, like when a text is describing a picture, there is an arrow. In fact, the image is used to support the argument. Blah blah blah." I can just say like that's a non sequitur too if I really want to be that guy because he's wanting to be that guy. Because in the pages when they like describe abilities, they don't like either they can have an error or they don't need to. But generally, let's say let me pull up the
yeah, you use the
stand
exact
thing.
same lot on there.
Like I'm gonna pull up what was it? Wait a minute, actually, does he already have it? Let me look. I could just like make a good example of what he already proven. Okay, he just cropped it out. Wow, what a bitch. All right, so let me get this scan real quick.
Like this can also just be a non sequitur, obviously, because they don't have to always have an arrow to point towards like what they're talking about, right?
No, we literally don't. Like, and when it comes to JoJo Go-Go, like, for example, the part that he cut out the rest of the context that was also being talked about.
Now he
Because
was trying to be sneaky.
Well, yeah, like, he's like, because he's trying to, like, pull, like, oh, non sequitur just because, like, the text, in the full context of the picture, not only was the text below it talking about, like, what was the stand, right, like, where he showed right here, right, but also the text to the right of it, just, like, below, too. So, like, his argument also falls under, like, non sequitur. Like, just because it's, like, pointing there doesn't really mean it's describing, like, the image, too. I could just pull that, like, come on, really? That's just lame. Alright, let me pull this up real quick. For GER, the stand who solos all.
I think there's like an Imgur link that has like all the entire data book.
Does he have the entire data book? Let me look here.
Oh, not in that doc. I meant like
Oh, I get what
there's
you
an.
mean. Give me 1 sec. I think I got it. All right, I found it. All right, open in browser. Okay, so like here it is, right? So, and I think people could see my mouse. So right here, this box area right here is taught. This is all in context with what's going on right here. All of this.
Okay, hold up. Because we got, I mean, Jabber, do you still have the full translations for, like, that?
Right here. Oh, yeah. I think he provides it in the doc. We can like use that too if we want.
Yeah, no, because I know Kratos. He gave me like the translations for like all of JoJo Go-Go, like when we were in VC that one time.
Okay. Yeah,
Good job, bro.
try to pull that up. So Phoenix, we're just going over this like crappy
When-
debunk.
Another like go back to the like data book page, like the full data book page. Like look at how clearly they separate like the one panel that's clearly talking about like him piercing Diavolo with the pebble, and then the top panel that's all about like his ability.
Yeah, like right here, and then like it's all in context. Man, basically he's just saying this could be anything over here. Oh my god, this doesn't tie to this at all. It's just separate. Like no, like this is literally right next to these two. It's like, what could this
Thanks,
be?
Jabber.
They're like, oh my goodness. Oh, you sent it?
I posted it on a cafe chat. Like that's the translation that I got from Kratos on the JoJo Go-Go.
Okay, so basically, let's see here. All right.
Yeah. Notice how the bottom is the part that's actually talking about like his destructive power.
Literally.
Like why would they like repeat information about his stats using like a completely different term? Like that doesn't make
like,
sense.
It's like they're basically saying like attack power first, like GR's attack power when they just like go over his destructive capability. It's just nonsense. It's like
Another thing I saw him talking about, he was going on like RTZ can be considered an attack, even though you literally see like Jorno use it to revert Diavolo's death infinitely, so it can definitely be used like aggressively.
okay, so here's like what the top right of the text says to the where Diablo's getting reverted, right, for the audience. It says after destroying Polnar's Requiem, Jorno with the arrow in his hand pierces gold experience and activates it. The power of the arrow is completely under Jorno's control. Its ability to nullify the opponent's movement and will. Furthermore, it has an offensive power that surpasses that of existing stands, making it the ultimate stand. Even the death of the people who are struck by the Requiem is brought back to zero, and those people continue to die like over and over again. Diavolo, who trusts his precognition and attack, was forced to experience death for eternity. And then below, like Diavolo, right, in that image where he's getting reverted to zero, says the ability of Requiem is selected by arrows if possible compared to the existing stand measuring rod. So it's pretty clear that both of these lines, the text to the right where Diablo's getting reverted, and also the text below, is literally all talking about the same exact thing to that image right there. So
And what's
How-
the
that's not
debunk about? Like, what's it saying again?
he's basically saying it's like a non sequitur just because there's text to the right, and I'm just like inferring that the text is also talking about like the image of Diablo getting reverted because it's relevant to the conversation. And what I just went over was
Like
literally
another thing that's like
up to the point. But yeah,
I think like the attack power statement is like just talking about like his hacks potency rather than AP is like the most consistent interpretation because we have Star Platinum in the exact same data but being stated to be like the strongest stand and like the number one in power.
yeah. And another thing,
Yeah.
this is like a misconception I think I'm going to clear up too, is that like when like he says revert to zero is constantly called an ability, so like why switch to attack power? It doesn't even make sense. Revert to zero is not an offensive ability, it's not an attack, but a defensive ability. And this is where I can say that this is definitely wrong when they say the ability revert to zero isn't an attack. And now people are like, what do you mean? Jabber's not like, he's trying to not kill people. Listen, okay? So revert to zero, what it does is that it forcibly makes your will below what it should be, along with nullifying any ability like you have. That is directly attacking your ability.
That's like by
your
nature
will.
attacking your.
It's,
Can this be considered like a mind hacks? Because like
Yeah.
stand
yeah. But in the,
Yeah.
but in the end of the day, right? It's a more so a counterattack like type of ability, where it just attacks your will, so you don't have any will to attack, and nullify such attacks
Also,
ability,
like,
so it doesn't have any will or reason to attack, right?
yeah, but like
Oh.
look up the definition of
Wait,
attack.
have you guys ever seen like Seven Deadly Sins? Because there's an analogy similar to this.
I watched like
Like and
2
it's,
minutes of that show.
There's a character named Esterosa, and his ability like basically is like as long as you hate him, your will to attack him is just zero. It literally is just this. It's exactly like Rec Room. It's funny.
yeah, so that's pretty true. Like, but like, an attack, right? Definition: take aggressive action against, like, a place or any forces with weapons, or typically in battle war, or like an act against aggressively in an attempt to like injure, like, or kill, right? Like stuff like that, like criticize or oppose fiercely, right? Like make what is this? Oh no, basically it's something very aggressive, like a aggressive action, destructive action, or something taken against like a person, place, or thing, right? And what Revert to Zero does is that it directly just attacks your will. It makes it zero via hacks. It's not actually
Also, the whole
physical
point of like
attack.
RTZ is like
It's
it's
more of a
also used to like get like Diavolo in a position where GR can just like easily punch barrage him.
Yeah.
So like the intent is also to be aggressive using RTZ.
Because like,
Yeah.
there's no way anyone can say that like Revert to Zero is a beneficial or even neutral ability to the opponent it's used on, since it's actually it's removing an opponent's will, or making it's forcibly making it zero. Like that's an attack.
Oh, wait, Jobber. What if like an opponent just didn't have a will to fight, but still fought anyway? Like we just counter the ability. That would be
Well, that would
Most
just be
likely.
contradictory then. Like, you wouldn't be able to, like, hurt him without, like, intent. Or still work.
You know what?
Actually.
You know what? Like,
like what about a robot who's just programmed to do so? Like, would you say the will is gone in its mechanics? Like, I don't know.
The will to follow orders, I guess. But
It's like if
I
you
mean,
like
if an earthquake happened, this nigga journal died, then, you know.
I mean, I guess that'd be asking a more philosophical question in the whole thing. Like, okay, with what? Like, I don't know if it is self-aware, and I don't know how you can even define self-awareness in a
Like,
freaking AI.
Semantics of like what the definition of like will is, but
like
it's not like
So, like the Terminator can kill GER.
Yeah.
like asking that question, right? It's more so like just asking, like, do you think Revert to Zero would just work on nature? Like, let's say a journal like stubbed his toe, like, or whatever, or like I don't know, it's like a fucking rock fell on his head. Like, do you think it would revert that? It's just nature, it has no will. Like,
I assume it needs to be like a person that journal can perceive.
yeah,
this is like the attacker's will, so it
That's
implies
what-
like it has to be
yeah,
like a person.
It has
Yeah.
to
Or at
be
least
like a
GR
person.
can
It has to be like a
perceive.
person or something that has a will, like, essentially. It can't just be like
Yeah.
literally just basically nature at that point. Like, no, like, yeah, something you will. But basically, this is pretty bonk. Like, Revert to Zero is definitely attack.
There's also a fact like there's literally the infinite death loop, which is like definitely used in an aggressive way.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's another
Actually-
thing. Like, people are saying it's not an attack, but a defensive ability. Yeah, the death loop's so defensive. So defensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sort of.
You know, thinking about this, like, you know, since you say, okay, like, you know, things in nature can get past RTZ. I'm possibly thinking that Chocolata's mold can possibly bypass RTZ, since mold is technically, at least I don't think, like, you know, you could say that it has any intent aside from just the user, and
Bro.
Chocolata is, like, you know.
Isn't that like produced by the stand though? So I mean, technically, it is.
Doesn't he actively use it to
The thing is, like, you
Whoa.
have to kind of go down, like, in order, like, if I'm right, you have to, like, go at a lower, like, level in order to be able to, like for it to, like, even get onto you and, like, start attacking you.
Well, I was saying, like, if Chocolata like came back from the dead or something like that, or like pulled up on GER, I was gonna say, like, if you were proposing that if he used his ability on him, I would assume that GER could revert that, since he's using his stand and he has the intent to kill Jorno. So
Maybe, but like basically, going more into this doc. So here's the funny part, because I remember I did at least skim some of this. Is that so? It says after destroying Pornos Requiem. Wait. It says actually the statement. Wait a minute. Okay, so here I'll get from the beginning right here. So he says Revert to zero is constantly called like an ability, so why switch to attack power doesn't make any sense. Revert to zero is not an offensive ability, it's not attack, but a defensive ability. Actually, the statement is separated to revert to zero, and this is the funny part. So the guide says, after destroying opponent's Requiem, oh wait, we basically read all this, right? But the point he's trying to make here is that when over at the top it says the power of the arrow is completely like under like drone's control, its ability to nullify like the actions of any attacking opponent. Furthermore, it possesses an attack power surpassing that existing, like any existing stand, making it an existence that can be like called the ultimate stand, right?
Like they're talking about the ability of RTZ in tandem of each other, like in that same sense.
Yeah, and he's trying to say that basically they're separate, right? That's the funniest part. He's like, the statement is separate from revert to zero just because it says furthermore, in addition, besides. But no, like, okay, so if we look at what this means, right? Furthermore, in addition to what precedes. And they give an example. So she always arrives on time. Furthermore, her work is always excellent. So when they talk about, let's say, for example, after, like, when it comes to the power of the arrow being completely under control, right? Its ability to nullify actions and will of any opponent. Going with this, furthermore, what precedes is that it possesses an attack power surpassing existing stands. So he debunked himself. It just shows
like there is a separation here. However, the separation is the first part's describing what RTZ does, and the second part's describing like its power or its potency, right? But it's still talking about RTZ in tandem with each other.
Literally.
Is there like commas or like periods or whatever that they use?
Yeah, like there's a period like right here, and then there's a comma right here. Furthermore, comma, and then like it goes on, right? But like he's just trying to say that like the whole thing is completely separate from revert to zero, so you can have the conclusion that GER's AP refers to his physical strength just because of like the statement of attack power surpassing existing stands. When this guy can't even read or comprehend a definition he brought up. Look at this. Wait. I just want to make sure.
Plus,
what? But oh my god. I like how you
even if like
that. What are you saying? Sorry about that. What was that?
it's all right. But like even if like the statement of it like surpassing the power of existing stands were like to be taken seriously, it still wouldn't really change much because Part 6 kind of retcons that with the Star Platinum statements.
Oh yeah, that's
another.
I wanted to bring that up like as well because like if the statement gets retconned in Part 6, then the statement is no longer at least true. Like at that point, like it just fall within the context of
like,
Part 5.
Even if like as like talking about its AP.
Ooh.
There's lag there.
Yeah, you're roboting a little.
But like even if we interpret like its how. Wait.
All right. Well,
one at a time now. One at a time.
Here, I'll continue real quick. Okay? I'll continue. But like basically, right here, when he gives a definition, I think this is pretty fucking ratty because he doesn't include the full definition, which makes him look like an idiot because he just puts furthermore equals in addition besides, but he didn't put the full one where it says in addition to what precedes. And like, from what this shows right here, it coincides with exactly with what's said right here. And basically, she always arrives on time. Therefore, because of that, this is the result of her arriving on time. Because of like the power of the arrow, right? Its ability to nullify actions. It has an attack power. Yeah, furthermore, it has an attack power to surpass the existing stands. That's why it's the ultimate stand. It's only referring to revert to zero. So it's just right to say it's an attack. It's literally like GR's physical AP just because it says attack power, right? Clearly, it's only talking about like revert to zero. Let's see what else is next here.
Is that in JoJo a Go-Go or is that in JoJo Wheeler?
That's Go-Go.
Yeah, a Go-Go. Like Go-Go.
Yeah, JoJo Go-Go.
JoJo Go-Go's the only one that makes that statement. That's crazy.
Yeah, because like I've talked to Walt many times about this, and the guidebook that he constantly keeps referencing in regards to GER and putting him this high is always JoJo a Go-Go.
Is that the old one? In 1990?
Yeah, it's the old one. Yeah, that was made in 1999, which is like, and because JoJo a Go-Go doesn't even have Part 6, so like it just stops like from right GER is the last page on that guidebook.
Yeah, it's
I mean, even if you like, I think even if you grant like if you grant that statement, right? You say like, okay, furthermore has like synonyms which can mean whatever, right? And you just grant the statement. It really doesn't put them above Made in Heaven anyway. So
yeah,
it wouldn't put him above like Part 7 motherfuckers. It wouldn't put him above like JoJolian.
No,
Yeah, like
Mhm.
obviously the Wonder of You, Araki seems to think that it's stronger than GER. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty
I mean,
crazy.
that's entirely, but yeah.
Let's see here. The more continuation. He says the argument that in JoJo, the strength of a stand is defined with destructive power is just semantic. I mean, generally when they talk about like a stand's like physical power, most of the time it's just like destructive capability, right? That's what's usually presented as stand stats, and he's just saying, oh, it's just semantic. Well, not really. We're not going into the meaning of words. We're just going to like how Iraqi just applies
We're going
different
into like
words.
what words are used, like not the meaning of a specific word. So it's not really like.
So he doesn't even know the definition of semantic. I'm sick. And then he just says, also it's fallacious as it falls under the proof by example fallacy. Now, I'm not even going to go over the proof by example fallacy. Why? Because like, listen. So he says, oh, it just falls under the proof by example fallacy. Okay, what does that even mean, and why does it fall under it? He doesn't explain it. He doesn't explain why it
Like,
fall under it. He
the thing
just
is,
says
like,
it fall under it. Like,
because I also like skimmed through it and I clicked on that link. Like it's basically, it's not like really a debating fallacy. It's like a mathematical like proof fallacy. And it doesn't really apply here because like we're not objectively saying like every single time like power is talked about in JoJo, it's using destructive power because like we're not making a mathematical proof here, right? We're going under like the most likely possibility.
Yeah, and also just in general,
He has shown like zero statements or consistency for the term like attack power being used like actually referred to AP in JoJo.
Yeah, and also just in general, when it comes to like throwing out fallacies, right? So when let's say for example, when I addressed where's this other fallacy he brought up, like the non sequitur or some shit. I addressed that because he actually explained like what it was and why he thinks I committed it. But over here, he's just throwing out a fallacy without explaining like what it is or why I committed it. So I don't have to like even address it in the first place. I can walk up to a person and just like say like you committed hamburger, but it's gonna be meaningless because like.
I can just walk up to you and say, oh, you committed the hippopotamus fallacy. But like, if you don't explain like why it's delicious or like why it pertains to the argument, then it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. That's a big thing. That's a big thing with Walt. Like when also discussing King Crimson and if he actually erases time, like the biggest thing, like one of the things I gave, okay, like if there is no time, then sequences can't occur, and thus since sequences of course occur still in time skip, therefore time is not erased. And the first thing he does is he says appeal to reality fallacy.
No engagement.
Exactly.
Appeal to reality. No
Like,
engagement.
doesn't even explain it.
Just because like just because
when
it's
you
fiction doesn't mean like your argument is free of being logically sound. Like you still have to make a logically coherent argument.
If anything,
You can't just
If anything, like it just like I guess technically, if I want to be that guy, just by him just throwing a fallacy, just like right there, like yeah, it's the end all be all. I don't need to explain like why, like what the fallacy is and why you committed, like or how you committed it, right?
I can just like it's told off.
It's like basically a fallacy. Yeah, it's like a fallacy. That's what they call it or whatever. Like it's stupid. If I really want to be that guy, I'm like okay, fallacy. Like yeah.
Do you want to know the worst one that I heard?
What?
Someone's talking to one. Actually, it was two worse things. One, they tried the huge time erasure to get GR to inaccessible, and I told him like,
Well, also thanks for I've talked beforehand.
Oh man.
Yeah, I told him like that would kind of be contradictory to the ability. And then also I showed him the Star Platinum statements, and his only argument against them was, "Wow, that's a really flowery language, isn't it?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I don't know if you take those seriously." And I was like, "Dude, you keep using the scan of the statement saying that GR surpasses existing stands and is like invincible or whatever, and it's like that's also flowery, dude."
It's just huge. Like, see, that's the thing I just don't like about like these type of people when they make those like arguments for GERs that like they'll be like a super contrarian to anything else, right? Like that's like so blatantly obvious, but like when it comes to GR, where like it's just like okay, like you barely got any statements, barely any showings, yet everything's defined for some reason with that guy. Like just shot. Like what? That's so biased. It's so biased.
I'm also wondering because also I talked to Walt about this, like, because he tried this, like, whenever giving any statements, like, for Jotaro in part, like, actually, like when he tried to debunk the whole, like, Star Platinum being the strongest and like stand like to try to debunk that and put GER above him, he would try to say like okay, GER didn't exist in part 6, like, and because it says existing stands. Here's the thing, I mean, and somebody else already kind of brought this up, like. That would mean, like, again, existing stands only in part 5. Like, when parts 7 and 8, like, those stands did not exist yet because, like, within that context, like, those stands, we weren't introduced to those stands. So why the hell would you not apply that to like other stands that literally came to be later on in like parts 7 and 8? So it's like a double standard at that
It's
point.
all just the
Wait,
sentence of
wasn't-
no limit fallacy, basically.
Wait, wasn't Made in Heaven like some of the statements like how Jotaro and the gang had to like kill him immediately because of how much destruction he was already doing to the world?
Pretty much, like they had to kill
Yeah.
Jojo's ass, but like
I mean, other than that,
Yeah, like
it's
Made in
not.
Heaven is
It's,
another stand though. The JoJo
I,
and Gogo
I mean,
lied to
it
him.
wasn't. I mean, I guess it was destruction, yeah. But I mean, I could just say with bites it does cure was going to destroy time. But what was I going to say? In his little data book thing on one of Made in Heaven's pages, I think Araku refers to Made in Heaven as like a god or something like that, and he never like refers to like GER that way. So
only its fans do.
Yeah, it was
Like a lie job.
like I also like one of his points is like they don't use like this one specific term to refer to like other stands because like it was about King Crimson or like how King Crimson is said to be like a first class stand, right? And no other stand besides Star Platinum has that, so he uses that to put like Star Platinum and King Crimson like relative to each other and above all other stands. But like,
you said
Well,
wait,
it's
Walt
crazy.
did that? The
It's
Walt guy?
crazy.
Yeah, like the gap between first class stands, like between each first class stand, might be freaking massive. Like, okay, this is considered a first class stand, but the gap between this one and the other one might be like a bajillion for all you know. Like, so it's
yeah, like
pointless
first class
to even say.
stand could just mean like you're above the average stand, but then the gap between those first, like let's say like we have Star Platinum and King Crimson above like all other stands, right? Because they're both first class. They could be like King Crimson could be like 100 times stronger than the first class stands, and that classifies them as like a first class stand. And Star Platinum is like a billion times stronger than King Crimson, right?
Yeah,
These
yeah.
lines have
It's
to
like
that's what it would be. And
it like
You
differentiates.
guys remember when like Kakyoin at the beginning like damaged Star Platinum, but then like later on in part 3, he gets like folded by like Dio just punching him once, and then like Jotaro just like swaps with him later on. Like it's wow.
Well,
It's
in that
crazy.
case,
That's
Jotaro
awkward.
says he was off guard, but in
Yeah.
Kakyoin,
Also, I will say, Jotaro,
but I mean, I
Jotaro
don't doubt
during
it.
Egypt does say, I believe, like that he constantly holds back, like
Yeah,
when
I'm
he
just
fought
saying the
Endu.
power clipping
Oh, of
difference
course
when
he
you're
does,
talking
but-
about
Yeah, like when he
classes.
was punching or like in duel, he was
Yeah.
like pulling back his punch. He said that directly.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bit more on topic though, like what was it? Because this is a long topic. Man, it would be here forever if you talk like. So basically, his conclusion is that GR's AP refers to physical strength, or whatever. Basically, we already debunked that notion. Next.
Yeah.
So point 4 of like the video, GR is only relative to King Crimson plus GR is weaker than Shiva Chariot. Oh man.
W.
Okay, so he's actually going over the YouTube short with this. Okay, that's pretty funny. Okay, so he says, I already proved that this statement. Nope. All right, we don't need to go over that.
Okay, you already debunked that.
Yeah, it says, okay, yeah, we already debunked the statement that like basically he thinks that like GR has like basically physical AP surpassing that of any existing stand. We just like basically just debunked it and said like, yo, it's just the ability. He debunked himself. It says.
It's also
He literally
double
debunks
stand.
himself too. Like, finish reading this like paragraph.
Yeah, so basically, okay, I'll read it again. I'll already prove that the statement it possesses an attack power surpassing that of any existing stand, making it an existence that can be called the ultimate stand, refers to his physical strength, meaning that in AP, GR scales above all stand, including Star Platinum, which has numerous statements to be the strongest stand.
Again, that's a contradiction right there. How can GR be the strongest stand and then Star Platinum say it to be the strongest stand? Especially when there's more statements saying Star Platinum is the strongest.
Where's...
Like, you're literally talking yourself.
Wait a minute. Wait, is he? Oh, hell no.
Wait.
He's writing. What the fuck is this shit, bro? Where's the part 6 statements? What the fuck? Okay, man. This is crazy.
Come on.
Wow, whoa.
He's literally debunking himself.
He at least had a debunk, like when I talked to him for the part 6 statement.
Okay. Oh my god. This is terrible. Okay. You know what? Just for the viewers' sake, I'm not gonna go into the rabbit hole just like physical AP, but I'll just show like literally the statement of Star Platinum just like having an attack power, like not attack power, like its ability is like the strongest like there is basically.
I actually have like a whole link.
Oh, whole link? Oh yeah, send it. Yeah.
Please work. Yes.
Yeah, make sure to send in cafe. Like, Send all scans in cafe. That'd be very useful for me.
I have like a link that has like all the statements of Star Platinum being like the strongest stand.
Nice.
Nice, yeah. Definitely post that up.
All right.
That one.
By the way,
There it is.
I think I almost got the PDF done.
Okay, so in part 6...
Taking a bit.
Oh, nice. But in part 6, right here, it says, can stop time only for a few seconds. The strongest stand ability ever. And we already confirmed that, like, the whole, like, attack power surpassing existing stands for GER is just referring to, like, revert to 0, the ability. So already Star Platinum supersedes this statement pretty handily. Next one. Star Platinum is
Literally
so
a retcon.
fast. Yeah, true. But, like, it's a retcon. So Star Platinum is so fast that it's able to become, like, to surpass the speed of light and stop time like itself for a maximum 5 seconds when Joe is in his prime, 18 years old. Its power and precision are also superb, right? And keep in mind, it says for more info, like go refer to like part 3, volume 8 to like 17, JoJo Go stands, where he's just stated to literally be the strongest stand, unrivaled ever. So, and in this
What happened?
in this part 6, no one rivals him at all. Like everyone like gasses him up. For example, Jolene tried to take his disc, got rejected because it was like way too powerful for her, right?
That's just like the same panel. Like it just continued.
Shit. Can't see it. No, I can't read it. No. Okay, let me. Yeah, I can't read that shit. But
My God.
okay, so let me look here.
I mean, that statement is not really like, that panel is not really relevant. It's just a panel immediately after like Jolene's disc gets rejected.
Yeah. So let me look here. I'm gonna bring up
Okay.
some more statements. Here, let me download this. Maybe I can just like open this up and read it properly that way. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay, I found
Why
it.
does it?
All right, so it says, at least from when I'm like zooming in on and like in a thing, I think people on like the OBS will be able to see it. I'm trying to find here.
Yeah, I can see it.
So okay,
I can like.
Okay.
it says the thing that Whitesnake really wanted to steal from your father isn't his ultimate stand. So already like Joro stands like being clarified the same term as like GER is an ultimate stand. So that's one thing right there. And we already know ultimate stands have ultimate abilities, right? Like that's why GR is regarded as that in the first place.
This like next scan is just talking about like him surpassing the world, which is also stated to be like the ultimate stand, like multiple times.
Yeah, like one stand.
Even in like data books that GR is in.
Yeah, like even Poochie, bro. Poochie is a fucking Dio meat writer, and he just said along with the stand that surpassed even Dio, Star Platinum. Oh man, bro, this is crazy, bro. Like, bro,
You can even see
it
in the chat, like Star Platinum has A across the board except for range, whereas the world had B in potential and precision.
Like, yeah, so far this isn't looking too good for GER right now. I'm not gonna lie, like, whew, it's looking pretty bad. Like, and keep in mind, like, Star Platinum is the only type of stand with like these types of descriptions in like part 6, where like
Yeah, GR like
that's crazy.
let's say like we didn't even like debunk like the attack power statement, right? We still have like one statement for GR being the strongest, and we have like all these statements for Star Platinum. So like
literally,
Yeah.
like, the strongest stand, like, because like basically
invincible one.
like basically in other parts, right, what makes like Star Platinum so deadly that everyone comments on is that not only is it just like this crazy strong and fast, but it has like it's just invincible because it can stop time, right? Like people usually refer to it as the strongest, right?
Yeah, like if GER was the strongest, you'd think Iraqi would talk about him more, but he doesn't.
Literally.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I would
Joe,
say,
only
I would
states
say
that
what
he's-
can be. I would say what can be the case is that within JoJo's there's this whole underground where there's like people know about stands, right?
yeah.
And like in part 4, somehow people know like Jodo can stop time, and then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, yeah, this guy's like one of the strongest.
It's
Or
like-
he is the strongest, like it's invincible. And
Yeah,
then,
like-
they just, I don't know, maybe they just don't know about GER because, like, I don't know, Jorno keeps it a secret because he runs the mafia or something. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
And even
I mean, it's
By
not
the
like
way-
just the characters in the series. There's also like the data books that have GR in it, like made by Iraqi, that also just say like.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I was just kind of explaining like why I think the characters don't talk about GER is because like they just don't
Okay, that's
know. So,
Yeah, and even
Like obviously, like not all of these statements are gonna like scale them above GER, but
yeah,
at least like not made before part 5. But they still support like,
yeah.
being a top team.
But even if like
But-
GR like weren't to
Yeah.
exist in like part like let's say 6, right? And like let's say for example we would try to like say he doesn't exist in part 6, therefore he's still above like Star Platinum in terms of like let's say hacks, right? Like even in like a translation I'm reading right now, this is like professional translation by the way, guy who, like knows Japanese. So here's 2 translations, right, for the Star Platinum like part 6 stand like little thing here. I'll put it up on screen real quick. So this is the part right here. I'm gonna read it out to y'all. I have my Discord thing, so it's gonna be 2 things. So basically, here's 2 ways. Here's 2 things. This is the first translation. Either this is the first translation. It says it surpasses the speed of light by sheer fast speed. At its peak, 18 years old, for 5 seconds, it managed to stop time of this world. Additionally, its coordinate of reactions and speed is incredible. It is the ultimate invincible stand ability. Okay, cool. Next one, right, is that its speed is so amazing that it exceeds the speed of light. And in its heyday, 18 years old, can stop like time for up to 5 seconds. You could stop time with of this world. In addition, its ability and precision is amazing. It is the best, most invincible stand ability ever. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's not even specifying a time frame. It's like of all time.
Like literally, it's no different than just like this statement where Star Platinum is just it just said literally it just says the strongest stand ability ever. It doesn't matter if it's like it's
And like the
it's
GR statements are like the statements about GR clarify. They're talking about like existing stands, and this is just talking about like ever.
Yeah, like it just in general, whether you're existing or not, just ever. And obviously, we're not gonna like fucking pull like a GER tar. We're just gonna like, oh well, it's above everything from like past like the original like part 1 to 6 universe. That means it's above Test Stack 4. It's above like whatever. No. It's just obviously it's just for its part and below. Okay, that's how you see.
Yeah, and
it.
also
Yep. By the way, Jobber, I finally got the PDF done. Though, there is quite like I don't know. It's like there are some like errors. I don't know if you still want to use it or if you want to take a look at it.
I'll take a look at it later. Don't worry, I'll get you.
Hey, Jobber, can I ask?
Just send it
Let's
DMs.
continue.
All right. So it says
This next point, like I'm already reading it, bro. It's so
Yeah.
bad.
Oh god. Okay, so oh man. All right. So next point. This is also visible when your GR flick. Yes, it's a flick stated in a data book. Was able to pierce King Crimson destroy building. Star Platinum flick in comparison is weaker than a gun. Oh, the
Wait. Hold up.
Is he trying to say Star Platinum's like gold
oh
bullet?
my god.
What the heck?
Bullet level
Okay.
Star Platinum?
Oh my god, hold up. This is the same argument that I like easily dunked on Walt for because he's literally conflating AP and DC, like attack potency and destructive capability.
Well, like
Wait,
either-
what was this argument?
This is
It's not even like AP and
stupid.
DC. It's like literally punching strength and then like fucking flicking strength,
He's
right?
basically trying to say that like essentially he's trying to say like in general Jojo's like bullet level or something. It's
Wait,
like-
how?
I
Well,
mean,
the
it's
context
literally
for
not
this is
finished,
them.
right?
The
Well,
context
like,
for them
even if it's-
is them is killing the rat who uses like. Well, actually, they don't know the ability of the rat, but it's just the rat is so small, and like they only have a range to 1 of 2 meters, so they have to use those like little pellets or whatever that is to kill the rat. So I mean, this argument's retarded.
plus
So it's
like,
like,
not only that,
like obviously like
He's like conflating like the strength of a punch and then like a flick. Like those two don't correlate.
They're
Like,
saying that Star Platinum is weak because he carries the pellets.
we know Star Platinum is like way stronger
also
than like bullet level. He's literally
That's-
punching away buildings casually.
Wow.
Like, what is his
Also-
point?
when they
I
describe
feel
it,
like
as,
we're running out of arguments.
it says a hyperspeed boasting can't perceive the flick pebble. Actually, a problem I have with this, right, is that like he's saying the pebble was flicked, but let's like actually take a look at what actually happened here. So let's say Diavolo versus GR, right? Because I'm pretty sure GR didn't even flick the pebble. He just shot it at him. Like it wasn't even described. Let me look here. Nah, that's before he. Give me a sec here.
Oh man.
Where is this? Where is this hot mess? Okay.
English stuff.
Oh my god. Damn, Diablo's racist. I heard that. I'm just kidding. Alright. Wait a minute. I think it's here.
Let's see it.
That's not a flick. What a rat argument. You saw that. You saw that shit. He just shot it.
You really got to compare him to a rat? Why not call him slimy or something?
That is
Wait,
not a flick. I'm sick.
Wait, he didn't even destroy the building.
Look,
What's
He like
the
split
argument?
it in half. He literally like split the building in half and it collapsed in on itself.
Hey, Jobber.
Yo.
That was a telekinetic flick, okay?
I like how like they're like everyone's like jizzing themselves like, oh my god, like his flick. Holy shit!
He did-
just destroyed a building.
Oh, the crazy part is he didn't even destroy the building. Like he split it in half and then like it collapsed in on itself. That's like a wall level
just-
seat, bro. What the
Wait a
fuck?
minute.
Yeah.
Hey, I
GER
just
pillar
realized-
That's another thing as well. Like
That's
this
like
is what I was
literally
talking
wall
about.
Yeah, like he only split. Wait, it wasn't a building. He just split down a fucking column of. a
He
building.
split a pillar in half.
Yeah.
That's not even building level. What?
Bro, wait a minute. Like, bro, Star Platinum had a better feat than this. This is pathetic. Because if we go to like, let's say the sun, right?
Bro.
This was
Yeah,
counted.
that's
Actually, hold on.
Actually,
That's
the thing
fine.
is like breaking the
the
teeth.
thing. This is why I was talking about attack potency and destructive capability because like literally it doesn't matter with the fucking bullet because like that's like
Oh man.
like it doesn't dismiss his AP. Like why are you
Hold
even
on.
taking into considering
It's so
destructive
stupid.
capabilities?
Bro.
Let me send like a destructive capacity feat that like fucking dwarfs like this pillar feat real quick for Star
It's-
Platinum.
And also, let me show
My
you this real quick.
thing is like why can't Jodo do that with like a star finger?
Like, here, let me show you this real quick. Look at this. Look what Joro does. This is way more impressive than the GR flick. Look at this.
Even in destructive
And
capability.
then before anyone says, you're just like, you're fanboying. Bro, this shit was count to like fucking small building. Here, let me bring up the fucking calc real quick, okay? That shit was like small building. I'm pretty sure what GR did was like way less than that. And that's actual destructive capability.
Corda, let me send a destructive capacity feat real quick for
Yeah.
Star Platinum. I could capture it.
I think I have it linked in my description here. Let me look here. Oh god, there's a lot of.
Okay, here we
I
go.
like how
Finally
people
got
like
it.
Jobber doesn't post calcs. Jobber, you're lying writing. Like, look at this, bro. Look, this is so many calcs. This is crazy. Okay.
I'm
Just avoids castration. I'll eventually find this.
castration. What? I posted the calc in Cafe Chat.
All right, nice. Here, super
It's not the one on VSB. It's like higher.
Like, I didn't like Jotaro like had to break teeth. That was like described to be as like hard as like diamonds.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say that
yeah, like,
he
that's
breaks
another-
every single tooth too, and he didn't stop until he broke all of it.
I know.
I think they said they were
people
harder,
might just
actually.
try to say that's like some like I don't know, like AP fee. I
Like
guess
Star
if you
Platinum, like he literally smashed like fucking teeth as hard as diamond that were the size of like a seabed, and like it's calced at like city block level. Like that's way more impressive than
I don't like this argument for
fucking pillar in half.
it's weird.
I'm gonna try to find like when Jotaro punched like that rock. I know I have a calc like linked to somewhere in here, so I just gotta.
Like pull up him like smashing the school in half as well. Like
Oh yeah,
against
that's
fucking
right
conch.
here. That's like
Oh yeah, that
small building. That was a single punch.
Yeah,
by the
bullet
way.
level.
Yeah, true.
Bullet level Star
He-
Platinum
he
below bullet
literally-
level.
He literally toppled like half a school. That's way more than what GR does. Like with the pillar, that was small building.
Did you see like the
with one punch?
Like took most of the punch too.
Yeah, like one punch did that to the school. Like when he punched, yeah, the final punch at Kakuin's like or Hyphen Greed's head. That's what happened to the school. That's what.
Or
made
did
it
you see
small.
the calc I posted in Cafe Chat?
Let me look. Cafe chat. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, see, like, oh, the teeth is calculated like city block. Yeah, I see it. That's by James Daly. Yeah. Okay.
I just took a quick screenshot.
like I'm still surprised he's even using this argument. Like when that's just destructive capabilities. Like it's not.
Bro,
It doesn't dismiss
Yeah,
AP.
They
capacity,
gotta
like, Star
do
Platinum,
everything possible to downplay. They have to.
I think it's kind
Like
of
Star
obvious.
Planet's literal introduction is catching a bullet like casually between its fingers. Like how is it below bullet, like below bullet level in AP?
Bro, I don't know. But like mainly, basically the point is, I don't think I can find it. I'm trying to find this shit.
It's right there.
Huh? No,
It's right there.
No,
Scroll
this
down.
one right here. No. I was thinking about something else. Basically, the whole gist is that Jotaro's destructive capability of Star Platinum, like with a single punch, is just small building level pretty casually, and like GER's feat of like destroying that like column is pretty.
Yeah, that's like wall level.
It's pretty.
He
worthless.
He split a pillar in half, which like collapsed in on itself. That's not like small building even.
That's horrible. Yeah, that means that
I
like.
don't know how about the large building feat.
And keep in mind when Jotaro did these feats, right? Like, for example, punching
That was
that
pretty
rock.
rage down too. Like Pre-ray jump holding back as well.
Maybe I have it here. Like, maybe I can find this shit. Maybe I have it in the video.
You're talking about like when he punched, like made the tunnel against the sun stand.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure I have it in the video.
He does that twice. Actually. Like he does it when he's fighting like the car stand as well. He makes like a tunnel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Like, he
right.
even
Yeah, also like
philosophy star platinum stomps him.
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, while fighting Wheel of Fortune, he also makes like a giant crater.
I'm trying to find this. No. No. Where is this?
Wait, I think it's around there.
Right here?
It's around like when you start talking about like the sun stand. Yeah, it's after that.
Was baking the Stardust Crusade 8 degrees.
Unpause it from there.
Yeah, I found it right here.
Oh yeah, it's right there. Yep.
So, like, right here, where he smashed that, like, giant rock, that was literally small building level. Like, holy. Like, just, that's one punch. One punch.
Oh my god.
A low blow. Especially he does it in 5 seconds when he literally like one taps it. So that's also like a massive low blow.
Yeah, true. Like, dude, this is crazy. Like, oh my god, the GR feat's so trash. I don't know why people gas that shit up. Before anyone says anything, like, oh, GR's like, that was like a fraction of his power. Okay.
Star Platinum.
Star Platinum was holding back throughout the entire part.
Casual holding back pre-rage on Star Platinum can literally break like giant teeth the size of a seabed, and then like GR's best destructive capacity feat is like splitting half of like a pillar and like having it collapsing on itself.
It's pathetic.
Like that wouldn't even be like small building.
Like the only
Not
time.
only that, I'd go far enough to say that Jotaro like straight up got stronger as Part 3 went on. Not even just in the Dio
He's
fight.
also said to like have growth potential as well.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
Somebody pointed out that like Hierophant Green in the first episode hurt Star Platinum, but then later on he can't do that again. So I feel like even when he's holding back, he still ends up getting stronger.
yeah, and it's like, even like once again, like the only time like Jotaro like doesn't like hold back in a fight is like when he like fought like literally like a Polnareff that was possessed by Anubis, and he would like Polnareff in his stand. Like with Anubis, they were amped like at least 3 or 4 times in like strength and AP because that's what Anubis does.
Let me get the.
It was crazy.
Let me get the panel of, like. Let me get the panel of like Star Platinum punching like Endduel and like saying like he threw a weak punch against him.
Like literally, and then like the other time Jotaro didn't like hold back was against Dio. Like that is like at least in Part 3, and then, like after that, like Dio, like Jotaro holds back against everybody, but the only one he didn't hold back against, definitely for sure, was like Pucci. At least, definitely in their final fight, like he did not hold back. But yeah, I don't know. This is so basically with Walt's claim right here, like this shit's pretty fucking right to say Star Platinum's fucking weaker than a gun. Or whatever, or and that also.
Yeah, and like he's trying to.
Isn't he the one who didn't want to get in VC either?
Yeah, but basically he says, and he says he lies and says that it's a flick. He's like, oh, it's a flick in the data book, and then we just see like in the anime, like, oh, it's clearly. You know,
I mean, yeah, like the manga is also like above the. Yeah, like the manga and anime are also like above the data books, obviously.
Like even if
it's contradiction.
Like let me look here. Even if I were to go to like the manga's like standards, right? Because the anime does follow pretty closely. Here, let me load this up.
I'm pretty sure they said that like they go to Iraqi for guidance occasionally, right?
Yeah.
So that could mean like the anime is like basically canon as well.
Yeah. So right.
Well, I mean, for Part 5, he makes a whole thing for Fugo. So.
Yeah, but like right here, right, it shows GR pulls the pebble up, and then it's just fired. There's no flick. He just fires it. So the flick generally is just wrong. That's like all it is, right? So let me look here.
Well, doesn't it not matter anyway? Since like we already proved that like Jotaro has a better feat.
It just proves that Jotaro.
Hold up, I'm looking cafe shot. Found the panel I was talking about.
And I like how no one even in the part even describes it as a flick either. That's another thing. Oh my god, this is terrible.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he punches it.
The dynamics probably like too strong.
Mention it at all to begin with?
No, they don't. They don't mention like when what was it basically when GR like threw the pebble at him, right, it wasn't a flick. He just shot it at him, right? And then no one even describes what GR did. Even Diavolo, who had like precognition, he never described it as a flick at all. He just says, "I couldn't see it."
Second,
attacked, but this incredible power.
Second cafe shadow.
He saw a hole appearing from his hands. Yeah, like none of it says a flick, so it's just headcanon. Like from what we see in the anime, it's pretty clear that it's just. Let me go back here. Oh God, no.
Oh yeah.
So right here. So obviously he did not flick the pebble. Stupid.
That's
argument.
straight up.
Not only that,
Good
he
job.
took
Check cafe shadow.
Yeah, I saw it. Like where he says you knocked.
Oh,
the
alright.
cap out. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, just that was great. Literally, he's not even trying. Like he's holding back against like everybody. That's his whole thing. So defeating King Crimson is also an incredible feat per se. King Crimson is one of the most impressive stands in the whole series. Jesus Christ, this guy is just fucking slobbing on. It's like King Crimson's not here. Alright. Wielding a strength capable of inflicting mortal damage to people's stands.
That feat is like literally nothing. What?
It doesn't, like, this, none of what you
Wait,
say
which
matters. It just
Like,
doesn't
what
matter.
stands? What people? Why are they impressive? Like,
It
who
says-
cares?
It says...
I'm not gonna lie, the part
calling-
5 game kind of sucks.
Yeah, like
honestly.
true, but calling it overwhelming in first class is like, what? It says it, that's...
I mean, we already went over that, right? Like, just because it's first class, it just means like it's above the normal stands. Like, we don't know the gap between the first class.
I
stands.
mean, yeah. Diavolo can beat up Hermes. That's nice.
Like,
Can I add something in favor of King Crimson real quick?
like, first class in power. Wait, you said ask the question about King Crimson?
I said, can I add something in favor of King Crimson real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. I'm not gonna try and use this to like wank GR, just but like basically like when it comes to like Jotaro getting stronger in part 3 via rage amps, isn't there like a potential argument for Polnareff doing that too? Because like in the Vanilla Ice fight,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, he says the angrier he gets, the faster he gets, right?
Yeah,
so like, I'm pretty sure it's
Why would he have
But
a
even
rhythm?
then,
no.
it would just be like retconned by like all the statements of Star Prime just generally being above like that standing.
Well, I know, but I'm just like trying to bring up like,
It wouldn't really
Why
matter.
would he like
stronger.
Why would he maintain the rage amp though? Like, I don't see why Silver Share would maintain the rage amp.
I mean, the thing is, let's say he did. It really doesn't put him anywhere. Like, where's he at normally? What relative to King Crimson? I mean, King
It doesn't
Crimson
like
just.
make King Crimson any more impressive. It just meanwhile he's unquantifiably like higher. Like, meanwhile, Star
I mean, it doesn't.
players are
I
scaling
mean,
above.
honestly, honestly, Bruno and like Kakyoin probably have a good chance against Polnareff. Honestly.
Yeah, like
When you have like Calcum Diavolo's speed belt, like in the Polnareff's flashback in the anime at least, there's the part where like during the initial confrontation, Silver Jerry at point blank, like 2 feet away from him, goes for a sword swipe, and Diavolo is able to activate Time Erasure. So like, as soon as,
It just puts him above Polnareff, but he was beating up Polnareff all day anyway before he.
Another thing, bro, he needed time erasure as well. Like,
Actually,
using
another-
time erasure literally like make his like he literally put like his hand like 1 millimeter away from like Silver Share to attack him like afterwards.
Also, another thing about like Polnareff and like King Crimson that like people kind of construe that like they think like King Crimson is just generally above Polnareff. It's not really the case because basically if Polnareff has like prep time, right? Basically they're on an even playing field. Basically Polnareff has the blood drop method to know when King Crimson erases time. And let's say he knows he's going to be behind him and they're both attacking at the same time. Not only is Polnareff quicker on the draw, like, but also like he can literally take out Diavolo in 2 strikes. And Diavolo misses himself. Like he's like, yo, like I would have taken like some severe damage if I like took that strike full on, right? And Polnareff was way faster when like they're on an even playing field, which is why like
He also has the advantage of like time erasure. He can like position himself in like a blind
yeah,
spot.
exactly. And he has epitaph. Like that's what makes him so untouchable. But like on an equal playing field, generally like Polnareff has like a better advantage. He's definitely more faster and stronger. It's just epitaph and like time erase is just the main things that kind of fuck up like Diavolo or fuck up Polnareff, right? And it's the reason why like Diavolo didn't take severe damage is because he literally just barely got out of the way of that attack when they're on even playing fields, right? And another thing, that wasn't even when Silverchair was at his fastest. If Silverchair had his armor off, he'd be fucking dead. That's a fact.
Let alone like Anubis and Silverchair.
Yeah, like he'd be dead.
Yeah, there's multiple statements
Alright.
of that like being said.
Thanks,
Oh, yeah,
man.
by the way, I also posted some like at least a few of the DM like where Walt used the same argument, like bullet level star platinum, and then
Bro,
even he realized it was dumb then.
all this for like fucking GER. This is crazy.
Yeah, but like I said,
Low
it's,
level star platinum. Let's go.
Below bullet level, like
Alright.
ignoring everything about Star Platinum, just like
Oh
white GER.
man.
and like that's the thing. I even showed the messages right here. Like, and he even realized that that he definitely shouldn't even do that.
It's so ratty. It's so ratty. Oh my god.
I mean, like, rats are kind of cool. Do we really got to compare them? to
Wait, everybody like read the message in cafe chat. He literally concedes right there.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
he conceded.
He literally concedes.
where does he?
So I can't use that argument for saying that GR AP over SB. Fuck.
Wait, is that in the fourth scan? Which one?
Cafe chat, the second scan.
Second scan. He says I can't.
Wait, never mind. The final scan. The final scan.
Yeah, it's the final one.
He says, okay, well, in this, I try to prove that GER is above Star Platinum, and thus GER is above whatever level Star Platinum is. Biggest student. This is for getting separation between attack, potency, destructive capabilities. Well, biggest student, you can definitely say GER's destructive capability is higher than Star Platinum. Well, Then Walt says, so I can't use this argument for saying that GER AP is above Star Platinum. Fuck. So he concedes to it. What an idiot! What an idiot! What a clown! What the? Yeah, this is the debunk, people. This is the. Oh my god! He posted in the comment
Debunk
section.
conceded.
Such a good
Crazy.
debunk. Such a good debunk. This guy even remembers
Same
how
debunk.
stupid it is. Oh my god.
Hey,
know-
he's still using this, like even now in the
Oh
dog.
man, this is terrible. Oh
Yup.
god.
That just like proves like GR like goons haven't even like read JoJo properly.
Yeah.
So his little introduction is catching a bullet. Like he's hyped up for being able to do that at the very beginning of the series, and like below bullet level downplay. Like,
Yeah, and so another thing he says right here is that like it says calling it like overwhelming in first class. So I'm assuming the class statement is what he's referring to when he says a statement that only Star Platinum has, but he doesn't prove that.
yeah, he doesn't even post a scan, so you can just
Yeah,
ignore
so
that.
I'm ignoring that.
But we already proved that like being both first class doesn't mean anything. Like Star Platinum could still be like a billion times above King
Yeah.
Crimson.
And he says, which makes sense since he named like Silverchair a stand that you also agreed to be near Star Platinum.
Where?
Where? What's the proof? Let me look here. What's the proof?
Go click on the link.
It's-
It says nothing about you agreeing to it. No time. He literally just lied. Like he just
lied.
blatantly strawman.
He literally lied. Okay, maybe he's trying to say, but I've never fought Polder before. Sure, he's an opponent I can go easy on.
That's
Actually, my
literally
fight-
an amp
Literally,
ref,
that's
bro.
literally amped with Anubis.
Like, bro,
What? And
he got like 4 different amps.
Oh
like,
my god.
Oh, bro.
Jodo was still holding back.
Yeah.
He had to go all out
Bro,
in the
and he got a
final
rage
amp.
amp afterwards. Not to
This is-
increase his speed.
This is crazy, dude. This is so crazy. Oh my god, the ratting is hard.
Like even the barber was already like blitzing Silver Chariot. Then he goes on to get even faster. Star Platinum while suppressed casually like blocks his sword, like splits it in half.
like
And then like he possesses Silver Chariot and like Star Platinum's still above him while suppressed. And then he gets even faster throughout part 3. And then he has a rage jump on top of that.
let me
I mean, you want to make it really worse? Use the anime. I mean, the anime is actually canon, and this thing it takes his
Oh, he's
armor
also using
yeah,
like
true.
yeah.
Yeah, the anime.
If we're using the anime, bro. If we're using the anime, you also like you lose a fucking piece of armor.
Alright, so
off. He loses all the armor,
Alright.
and then Star Platinum has like a little clash with him before he
So-
loses.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna show the viewers real quick because they're gonna be watching this in the video. So basically, right. So after Polnareff defeats Anubis, right, and then next
That
time,
first amp was already relative to him.
yeah, next time they come around, he says, "Is that still worth the stand?" Keep in mind, this is their second fight. He's so much stronger than before. This pressure, and then like this time, he's able to clearly react to Silver Chariot. This time, he can actually do it. He's better.
Keep in
than
mind, Star
before.
Platinum suppressed his entire time until he makes a statement of not holding back.
Yep, he says he's getting stronger with every swing. He's able to react to all.
He literally
bursts.
blitzes his best ability.
Literally, and then here comes Star Platinum fighting an opponent that is stronger and faster than Silver Chariot. Look what happens. Bam! Right in the face, out the window, easy. He's like, oh, I got barely, and then like Joro's downplaying, so that was a shot punch. I barely
Another
got
thing
that
you could
in.
use to prove this, it's gonna take a while to get these scans, but there's also the scaling chain. where we have like Armorless Silver Chariot, who's a Perception Blitz above normal Silver Chariot, which already makes him above King Crimson.
Yep.
That Silver Chariot gets blitzed by Whole Horse's Bullet, and then like Emerald Splash can outspeed Whole Horse's Bullet, and then base Dio can just casually react to Emerald Splash.
Pretty much. That's like the easy speed scaling chain. And then, like, some people that doubt, like, oh no, he just Anubis is just copying strength. He says, Star Platinum, not bad. The rumors are true. You have speed, but now that I see it, and I can beat it, and then he adapts. And then they even say, the more we fight, the faster it gets. Its next attack is going to be its fastest.
Like every attack is making him faster. That's the crazy part.
And he's already faster and stronger than Silver Chariot with its armor on. Then Jotaro with another amp. This guy's already adapted to a low ball, basically a Jotaro holding back, right? Speed and strength. And Jotaro still reacts and just like fucking folds this guy. Then he possesses Polner. Oh, it keeps going. It keeps going, guys. So look at this, dude. Jotaro, look at this. This is Anubis' third amp. Look what Jotaro does. He kicks a guy out of the way before Anubis can slice him. No Star Platinum.
I'm also opposed.
What?
Also, just to prove that like this amp Silver Chariot is above Armorless Silver Chariot, who's a Perception Blitz above normal Silver Chariot, I'm gonna post like the raw scans in a cafe chat.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Here, I post that too, but like, so more on this, right? So they're scrapping again, right? This is, keep in mind, this is like at least a bare minimum. Silver Chariot's like amped like 3 times the strength and speed, right? Like Anubis obviously is on the level, and then look, he says, "Oh my God, he's just getting like faster, stronger." Things getting away. He's getting faster and stronger, right? Must stop him. And then right here, he accelerates. Sarmon's, oh shit, he got faster, and he still reacts. Look at this.
Still suppressed, by the way. He's still suppressed.
Look. And then the final clash right here is when they go all out, right? But like right here, so here's what
He's like,
he says, haha, you headbutted the sword away after you realized you couldn't catch the blade. Oh, I almost got you. I was close. But now I've learned that trick too. A 4th amp.
Wait.
And he still is holding on. What?
Wait, Jobber. Look at the raws I posted for like that same scan.
Oh yeah,
in cafe shop.
so the raws. So the raws is that like so here's what Jotaro says right here. And then the raws, to meet or to come across, to run across, to counter, and to meet.
So basically, that's like the fastest scan he's ever encountered, which would mean it's faster than Armorless Silver Chariot.
Yep, like that's another thing too.
Let's say that like I don't know for some reason Poner of Amp by Anubis just got shit on, right? Let's just say that he did for the for the sake of the debate, right?
Yeah.
You have Anubis saying that Dio is stronger than him, and Kakyoin also saying that the world is the strongest stand they've ever run across.
Yeah. Literally at the end of the fight, like his very last amp, like he still admits inferiority to like Dio, and that's not even like a high deal. And then just Star Platinum goes on to one shot and blitz that high deal by the end of the fight.
Like the thing that people like use for
He's massively powerlifting Silver Chariot.
Yeah, and the thing that people kind of jerk off Polnareff a little bit on, I think it might be brought up soon here, is that like basically when Polnareff literally off guarded Dio by like stabbing him in the head, and the only thing Dio's not even like impressed by the attack itself, right? But he's impressed by the fact he's like, you know what, like you could have killed me if you like actually like spun your rapier around to mess with my brain, right? Like that was the only thing Dio commented. Everything else wasn't like crazy to him, and it was off guarded Dio. Obviously, this shit wouldn't happen if he's on guard. He just tanked the attack. But anyways, like
That's such a bad feat, honestly.
yeah, it's
Can you say something that could like simplify this for like?
You could also
Uber?
argue Silver Chariot is getting like a rage amp from that, because think about it, like Dio's directly responsible for killing like his sister and all of his friends.
yeah, it's true. But like someone say you want to simplify it or something.
So basically, like we have the Stars Crusaders who are already probably some of the most powerful stand users like ever, and then Jotaro is like in a completely different tier. He's team carrying. That should really put into perspective how strong he is.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going real quick because it's getting long. Okay, so let's see here. The scan like this says supports my point as Diavolo stated that he could not see the attack. You know, react to it. What was this supposed to? He's incapable of reacting to GER's attack. I don't even think did I even say he?
I don't think you ever said that like King Crimson is above GR. Like he never like
I don't think I ever
posted
said
like you
that.
said that at all.
Yeah, like I think he's trying to say like they're relative in. He thinks I think I said they're relative in speed. Like I mean, obviously I don't think that's the case. I think they're relative in like AP. right?
You could be like a bit faster,
Yeah,
right?
definitely an AP. Like Diavolo tanks the
Yeah.
whole ass like fucking stand barrage from GER.
It says Diablo is confident that there's a good distance between the two. In JoJo, if you have a good distance, you can react to an enemy that is.
Yeah, you never disagreed with that.
Wait, yeah, I never did. And also, it's like, I'm confused. What? It says if you have a good distance, you can react to an enemy that is faster than you. When the distance was too close. Wait, when the distance between the two was close, GR was able to blitz the shit out of Diablo. Wait, I'm confused.
Are they referring to when you said that what was it, that
This-
Silver Chariot would like, or Silver Chariot is stronger than GR?
No, this argument is just incoherent because what he's saying is that, like, okay, he says right here, Diablo's confident because there's good distance between the two, right? And that's how he's able to, like, pull off, like, his time, like, eraser or whatever, or, like, even see, like, GR even move his hand in the first place, but he gets blitzed. But then he just says, in JoJo, if you have good distance, you can, like, react to an enemy faster than you, right? So, that's what he proposes. But he says, when the distance between the two was close, GR was able to blitz the shit out of Diablo, but by his own admission, okay, Diablo got blitzed when GR fired the attack. You couldn't see it. Like, even with Epitaph. I'm confused.
Is this also based off their? Is this based off their the point before this saying that
I don't even know.
Silver Chariot pressed Jotaro?
No,
Is
his
that why?
point is that Diablo is incapable of reacting to GR's attack, but like
It's like you never disagreed.
Yeah. I know. I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
like, are they trying to like do a chain skill like Silver Chariot above or comparable
Yeah,
to
you're trying to
Arcana and
I don't know.
Is
above that?
That's what I'm trying to.
Chariot?
Yeah, that's literally what I'm trying to figure out because I guess his argument is that Diablo is incapable of reacting to GR's
Yeah,
attack, which I
He's like,
disagree
yeah, he's
with.
trying to change. He's trying to say like Silver Chariot is like close to Star Platinum, and then King Crimson is above like Silver Chariot, and he has like that first class damage, so that would somehow make him relative, and then like GR is like above King Crimson, so that would somehow make him above Star Platinum.
Well, it doesn't work anyway.
I think already like
Like,
debunked
I
that.
think maybe he's trying to say that Diablo is confident he could just use like time erase or something, right? I think he's trying to attack my argument. Like, oh well, Diablo's just like confident he could just use time erase. He can just do that, right? He's saying basically just because I have yeah, okay. I think maybe I get it now. I think the argument I made, right, is that essentially with Diablo he could still react barely to GR's attack with Epitaph, which is why he's confident enough to use like time erase. Like that's generally truthful. I don't get. I'm trying to comprehend like what this guy's trying to say.
Let's just like move on.
Are you
Fine.
debunking a debunk or what? What's going on
Yeah,
here?
it's some.
Now we're like
Yeah, debunking a rebunk.
Yeah, let's go. It's for fun, but like, okay. So
we-
I don't know. I think this is just some nonsense he's spouting.
yeah, let's just ignore it. Like we already like debunked the like
Alright.
Shane scale. And
So
Diavolo is mid. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, God.
Oh God!
The whole
Yeah.
horse probably could just like
Slam him.
kill him.
oh yeah, Tick.
Oh, God.
Yeah, true. But Tick, just letting you know we're all recording though. We are recording. That's another thing. So let's let you know.
My bad.
No, it's all good. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know, but like you're all.
Yeah, so I'm not swearing or nothing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you.
But anyways, first of all, Chariot only cutted Diavolo, so he's responding by YouTube short. While GR is getting beat up by both Diavolo and King Crimson, then
that's
he
such a weird
damages-
point to use because like GR took like a whole stand barrage to just get him to like a near death point, and
Well,
then like
literally, like
Silver Chariot's about to like kill Diavolo with like 2 slices.
literally, like that's just how it was. Like, doesn't he show that? Like, look at this. Like, so
Yeah, like he's literally tanking all of the attacks.
like what the fuck? So basically, okay, let's just take the attack power of like GR surpassing these stands, like literally, like let's say like physicals like capabilities, right? Like, so the contradiction here is that like Polnareff with like at bare minimum 2 like strikes to Diablo, he can just fuck him up. Basically, he can kill him. Like 1 strike would be severe, like damage to Diablo.
Yeah.
By Diablo's own admittance. I know some people are gonna be like, Jobber, I don't believe you, but like here, like let me pull this shit off because people are.
Was this when they were in the
You're talking
Coliseum, right?
about yeah, the
like,
Coliseum
that was
fight.
when they're at the Coliseum. So
Straight up, he was like, "Dude, that almost got my neck."
literally,
Like if that had hit.
I'd be done for, he said.
that was Diablo's words, but that's kind of strange that.
I mean, you already like
Diablo
showed all that
never-
on YouTube show, and like they somehow just missed that.
But like it's kind of funny that like that's what Diablo says when just like he gets hit by like Polnareff, but like when it comes to like GR, he's like, you know what, your strength and like your destructive capability and speed have definitely gone up, but you ain't shit. That's basically what he said. But with Polnareff, he was like, oh bro, look, he says And your timing is genius too. If I were a little bit closer, I would have taken severe damage. Oh no.
Wait, hold up. Say I'm not scanning real quick.
Yeah, look.
That's
Go back to that
Polnareff
scanner.
in a wheelchair.
Dude,
His
this is
mobility is
crazy.
trash.
This is crazy, dude. He had to do a full spin. Okay, but and so
Wait, I didn't-
I'm surprised that he didn't come.
Yeah, like, he had to do a
Yeah,
full
on that
spin.
scan, he says, "What spiritual strength? You have
Yeah.
not wasted away one bit." Weirdly enough, he doesn't say that about GER. I don't know why.
Look, the guy is like whole body, like he's getting
Yeah.
like slashed in pieces.
He says I would have taken severe damage with GR. He's like, man, yeah, you think it's stronger and faster.
Like, do you really want to make this worse? You can argue like this is a weaker Polnareff than in part like 3.
True, you could make that argument as well. But like, it's like, okay, so. But
Is his
basically,
stand like
the
kind
point
of like
is,
messed up?
yeah, it doesn't have legs. It's fucked up and wrong. But because his Polnareff doesn't have legs wrong.
He built prosthetic legs for himself. Like, what the fuck is he doing?
He's on some shit. But basically, the point is that, like, regardless of like the flick shot, whatever the fuck, right? Consistently, just what we see with GER is that it took multiple. Look at this. It took like 2 full barrages just to like put like Diavolo near death, where Polnareff could do that in like 2 sword slashes. That's pathetic. And then people will be like, well, no, GR killed like Diavolo like after the barrage. No, he didn't, because we can see like right here. We're gonna go over to like where like Diavolo got punched into the river. Like, oh, he got reverted to 0, right? Look, as we can see, look. So there's blood, 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 boom, right? All right.
Doesn't she say that like
Look.
she can still sense him too?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exact-
She can still sense that he's alive too, right? So look, right here, there's still blood, and then he crawls in the river, and he's still talking about the damage he took, saying like, look, wait. He says, look, he's like I'm barely still alive somehow, right? Like that's what he says. He's like, must get in the sewer inside. Get my body move. It leads. Look at him. He's wobbling, bro. He's not healed from that fight at all. And then he gets stabbed, and then he finally dies, like, or whatever, goes to his death loop, right?
Lifting yourself out of
That's
water
what we call
whenever
real-
you're bleeding to death is kind of hard to do.
Like literally, and he's wobbling, he's struggling, man. Look at this, he is struggling.
He's still
wait.
pulling himself up with his arm strength alone.
But like, the crazy part is that like, if he were to be like, let's say like we go with like if he was reverted to 0 truly, then he shouldn't be struggling to get in the sewer. He shouldn't be talking about like, oh damn, like he's barely struggling to talk, and he's bleeding. He's like, I'm still
like
alive,
how-
and he's wobbling. Look at this.
You know, like in part 3 when Jotaro would punch somebody, their bones would break. Like, or just like people, like whenever Joseph.
Right, yeah, he
would
was like
punch
that was one of
somebody,
his points. Like, oh, King Crimson can do like mortal damage to people. Like, what about Star Platinum?
Yeah, like
a Star
this-
Platinum, Silver
I think so.
Chariot.
this is crazy.
And I'm punched a hole through freaking Dio of all people, who has like insane durability as a
I
vampire.
mean,
Yeah.
I
You know
think
who else can
regardless
do,
of
like, severe damage?
like the comparison between like strength between GER and Silver Chariot, I mean, I have kind of a different opinion about it. But I mean, regardless, Star Platinum has shown better, and he's like tiers upon tiers upon tiers stronger than Polnareff of all people.
Yeah. Oh, and remember
Hey, John.
remember the part where we're like he uses the. Oh my God, he uses Polnareff off
Yeah,
Dio. That's
God.
crazy. Look at that. And Dio,
Yeah.
like, Dio just stops time, says you ain't shit, and then fucking flings him away like fodder.
And this is probably a mentally amped Polnareff too, just like some random said. I mean, because
There's a lot of
we-
stuff of like the mentality of like a user like amps your physical stats, like the lock.
you get like some Naruto mental amp.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to help
He
his
said like
friend.
the mental
It's like-
fortitude of a user directly like influences the strength. So like you could argue he was like rage out against Dio because like his goons that he sent off killed his sister and friends.
Yeah, it's you know, I'm just
Like
saying.
while he wouldn't really like have that mental state against Diablo, especially not in like their first fight.
Yeah, but like basically
Yeah.
all Dio just says is that like if you just apply a little bit more strength, looks maybe like a little bit more thought.
Yeah, well off guard too.
Yeah, like he's off guarded. Like that shit wouldn't have happened. Like, oh my.
And like we know like when you're off guard in JoJo, you can get like hit by things way like weaker than
Like,
you. Like
yeah.
fucking Jolene gets like like damaged by bullets
Yeah,
off guard
literally,
and
like
shit.
she literally gets damaged by
Jotaro and the
bullets.
gang get hit by a car when
Yeah,
they're
he got,
fighting
like,
Hoho again.
It's crazy.
Like,
Like when you're off guarded in JoJo, it's like some Dragon Ball shit. Like your durability is like low as shit. Like for example, Jolene one instance she's off guard, like she's getting hit by bullets, right? And she just like almost dies, but like on guard, she's just easily like reflecting them and all this other shit. But like, if she can't take the bullets in the first place, there's no reason for her like to have the attack potency like to throw them away, right? Because she scales to her stand and whoever's punching it. Anyways, and also like she takes the brunt of her stand like punching meters too. Like, oh no, it's terrible.
Who's the guy who owns Green Day again? What was his name?
Chocolata.
Wasn't Chocolata not dead when he fell in that dumpster? He had to like.
Well, that was Gold Experience, but I mean we're off topic.
Yeah, we're off topic, but like here, let's keep going though. But basically, his point is that like he's trying to make a comparison between like when Silverchair cut Diavolo and like Silverchair cut Dio, but the difference is that Dio was literally off guarded.
Like this next one, like
and like Diavolo definitely was not off guarded. Like he even says like pretty much the only way he dodged the attack in the first place because Epitaph, because you can see the result of like time erase and Polnareff like doing that, and he barely got out the way of it. So he's on guard the entire time. That's like Diavolo's nature with time erase and like Epitaph is to know everything. So he's never off guard. It's the point, really.
And it's to prepare himself too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Diavolo's whole character.
He's like rarely off guard. He's always looking into the future.
Let's continue with the doc.
Yeah, let's continue. We gotta keep going, bro. This is long. So basically, his conclusion is that. Oh, he says. Oh, it's just stupid. Anyway, so he says GR is not relative to King Crimson. CP is blah 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 blah. All existing stands. Okay, this is already wrong. We already proved it's wrong. It's a contradiction because we proved that Silver Chariot's like not even like basically GR isn't even above like Silver Chariot and AP, and not even like. Not even Star Platinum showing it's pretty bad. But yeah.
Like he also Crimson was like just destroyed Silver Chariot into pieces, and like he just doesn't provide any scans of that. And like in your actual YouTube show, you had scans of like Silver Chariot slicing Diablo apart. And it doesn't even matter if he was like slicing King Crimson apart because GER failed to do the exact same thing in like multiple barrages.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like to prove a point, like GR should have just been able to just like, for example, if it took like one attack from Polnareff to severely damage Diablo. It probably should have took less than that for like GR with a punch, like maybe a half connected punch, or maybe even just 2 punches at bare minimum. But that shit didn't happen. Like Diablo wasn't severely injured in 2 punches. Like it took like 2 full barrages to get into that state. But anyways, so the next one is revert to 0. The next point is revert to 0 is an ability only scales above other stands abilities par 5 and below. Okay, what's the debunk here? No, this is a misunderstanding of the scans. Something hard to quantify is still possible to quantify, while revert to 0 straight up out just said to like be impossible to compare. Like, okay.
But
it says it's impossible to compare with the existing stand measuring rod. Okay, but we already accept that like the ability is
hard to quantify, quantifiable, and then he gives no evidence of this. How would they know how to quantify? Or like. He just makes the claim that it's still possible to quantify, and like he just doesn't.
Yeah. It's...
This is the same thing, like that like when we talk to like cars, like about like GER and the whole like unquantifiable thing. Like there's a difference between like something that's unquantifiable in the sense that it transcends like some kind of like finite value to something that's just unquantifiable to like where like we just don't know. Like there's just nothing to quantify.
There's just no way of quantifying that. Like what's like how would you quantify like the speed of like let's say a soccer ball like that's just lying on the ground?
How would you quantify the destructive power of RTZ? Like how is it still possible to quantify that?
Like this like basically the point is like the soccer ball could like I guess genuinely go at any speed depending on who kicks it, but like generally that's really hard to quantify. It's like well. Like a general quantification of like the speed of a soccer ball. It's just it's a stationary object that can only.
It's also
like
a comment, right?
Huh?
Yeah, like we're not just gonna say like the soccer ball's fucking going at infinite speed or something because we can't quantify.
Yeah, it's like basically let's just like remove like the ability. So let's say the ability of like soccer ball is impossible to compare with the existing stand measuring rod. Even like, come on, like it just doesn't.
It's a really good
sense.
axe.
Yeah, true. Like that's all that really means. And we are like went to like that. It's just a hacks, and it's impossible to compare. But like, he's saying,
he also he said that something hard to quantify is still possible to quantify. But we're not saying it's hard to quantify. We're saying it's outright impossible to quantify. And like he's not explaining why it would be possible to quantify it in the first place. So like he's already missing.
Yeah,
it's like the quote.
You see what it says? Tech?
I was just going to ask, in the JoJo Go-Go quote, are they saying that compared to every other ability? Because Time Stop's really strong. Like, are you going to just say, no, it's just
I think in
not?
part 6, Araki says that it's the strongest ability or something
Yeah,
like that.
like it just retcons like the whole like revert to your GR statements basically.
Yep.
So,
I mean, and then it gets like dog walked by Poochie.
yeah,
So
pretty much. And it says in GR case, the fact that the ability is impossible compared to the existing stand measuring round means that it's above it. Why? Stand stats, the name implies is to use like to quantify capabilities. I mean, we already went over like things that are just generally hard to quantify when they put like a none rating, like just things that are hard to quantify with an ability, right? Like Sky High and all that type of stuff. So
Yeah. You know it's funny because like Walt was the one that actually like sent me like and even told me about like burning down the house, like his stats being all none. But the thing is, his debunk was to try to say that okay, the way none is spelled in Japanese is different to how GERs is spelled. But apparently it doesn't matter. Like it both means the same thing. And like I got somebody to translate that, and it literally is just the same thing. It's just none at the end of the day.
it's just
There's no really difference.
Would say like 0 and none. Like just repeating the point. Like he's not even addressing the fact that like it's like, literally impossible to quantify something like destructive power for RTZ. Like it's literally, it doesn't actually cause physical destruction. Like how would you quantify?
It doesn't have a speed. It doesn't like have a range. Like it doesn't have all these other things. Like how would you even go about quantifying like something like that? It's not even physical. Like it doesn't. All it does is revert things to 0. But all we do know is that like the ability just is extremely strong.
Yeah.
Right, like I don't know. This is just like a really weird argument. Like,
Was that the?
if I had like a box or something that ended the universe, it was just instant and it just ended it. Right, it just stopped existing.
Go on to the next paragraph. He says RTZ is automatic.
Oh no, this is terrible.
Oh.
Okay, so. Oh no. Okay.
Need conditions to activate. What the heck?
It says let's start with speed. First of all, the ability doesn't have 0 in speed because it's tied to. Wait, what? What the fuck is that? 0.
Like no, it's no.
Okay, so GR speed indeed is his main feat. Blatantly prove that the ability is automatic. Okay.
Where's the scan? What?
Yeah, where's the scan? So it says which means it's untied to GR's reactions. Wait, where?
Where's the scan?
The premise that supports the conclusion that RTZ is not passed is when GR reacted to Diavolo's attack in time erase. Erase time, which, well, this is false. Journo and GR also were affected by time erasure. Okay, that is true. But then he says the effects of the character's abilities are portrayed in a holographic style. The style can be seen as each time the ability is activated. This is not a random thing. What's up?
It's just like.
There are numerous amounts of issues with these already. Like for one, like of course, like you could easily just bring up the fact that like GER like revert to 0 only activated after like time erasure ended because like of how like Diavolo can't attack during time erasure.
That is one thing I was gonna get into. Is like, well, like because I see where this is going. It's like, well, he's just say, oh, it activated during time erasure, and it's like, well, no, like it activated after because that's the time Diavolo can actually harm like GR and Jorno. Like they wouldn't be any harm if Diavolo tried to attack him because his attack would go through him, right? So when the ability, like that basically whenever Diavolo attacks, he always attacks when he's about to end his ability, and then once he's in mid attack, that's like when the ability ends, right?
Was it that was it that he was going to attack and then like GR basically he stops himself before it happens?
Nah.
Like, because it's supposed to turn on. Right?
Because even Diavolo's like, what the hell's going on?
So,
yeah, but also, another thing as well is like, Walt even admits that GER was affected by time erasure. If GR like just can't be affected by time erasure, then like he would have like like then he would have just acted like like as if time erasure had no effect and moved like with no issue.
How would like GR's reactionary ability even be passive? Like if that was the case, it would just be resetting all actions around it like automatically, which is like not the case.
So like here, let
me it would kind of be like more so like Gojo's.
I know, right?
Yeah, it kind of would be more so like Gojo's infinity, like infinity space, infinite space, like at that point. But there's nothing that indicates like that GER's ability even works like that.
I think the crazy part, right? So here I'm going to show this real quick. So right here, Diavolo's like, I did it, I won, and then he goes to throw his attack. Now we already know that Diavolo cannot interact with anyone in Time Erase. And keep in mind, Journal GR only reverts like an attack towards like Journal that would harm him, right? He does not revert the blood drops, right? And the only way like King Crimson can actually harm Journal, right, is outside of Time Erase. That's the only reason it would activate the ability in the first place. It wouldn't activate the ability. Let's say it can see in Time Erase, right? It wouldn't activate, or just the ability itself. It wouldn't activate in general because of King Crimson's, thing. He can't attack people. He just phase through them, which is why when he does attack, that means it's signaling the end of his ability. Like that's just common. This is common sense of how his ability works and how he just operates. Look, let me pull this up real quick. That's how he does it.
Yeah, that's also another thing because Walt would also agree with the intangibility thing because because he tried to also say that King Crimson actually erases time because Diablo's intangible. So at least he agrees that Diablo cannot attack during time erasure. So I don't.
His final and biggest point is all about time erasure stuff.
Yeah, so I don't but the thing is he already admits that Diablo can attack during time erasure. So I don't see the point in even using this instance when Jobber said it's after time erasure ends.
Here, let me show you this real quick, okay? So Diavolo knows when to so this is where it shows right here. Take this, time progress. That's when he throws his attack and he stops because he sees an arrow right there, right? And then if we go to the next one, he says take this, he throws an attack again, time resumes, right? Every time he's gonna throw an attack during time erase, he throws it, that's it signaling the end of his ability, right? And that's what was happening with Gold Experience Requiem. He signaled the end of his ability, and then once his ability ended, that's when everything started just getting reverted, right? And be like, oh well, actually, GR's it was react. No, he didn't react in time erase. Actually, when he reverted the ability, right, he's just immune to time erase for two reasons. First is that was Jorno's desire to beat time erase, right? And second is that he nullified the ability entirely, so it doesn't affect him. Or it doesn't affect GR, right? Because he nullified time erase. That's why it's another reason why it's reverting, right? We go to what else does he do this to? I think Destination Coliseum.
Does he do it in the fight with Abakia?
I don't think he does in the fight with Abakia. I think I'm gonna go to Bruno real quick. I think he might have done it to Bruno too.
With Abakia, it wasn't even a fight. It was more so he caught him off guard. I don't even know if he even uses time erasure in there.
Yeah, he just
kind of might not have.
Donuts him,
Are you talking about when they were investigating him, when they were on that island or whatever?
Yeah.
I was thinking of both
I think
him and Bucciolati.
He used it to get up to him and then gut him so he can get the soccer ball.
Yeah, I think I found the other point. So right here, when he does the punch, look. So he's right behind him, right? And then he's throwing his attack already. That's just how he does it. He can't harm anyone in time erase. His attacks are basically signal the end of his ability to actually harm the opponent, so they can't react to him. So GR, and once again, GR only reverts attacks towards Jorno. And look, it says right here, a stand power manifests by the air, the strength of attacker's will and actions. Okay? And the only way for Diablo to actually attack and harm Jorno is outside of time erase. So that's the only way that could have happened, and it's signaled and shown, right? And
Can I add something?
Yeah, what's up?
So even a simply way of saying it, the logical conclusion of that moment is that Diavolo's time rager works on him, and he can't attack him, and that's what kept him safe. So, the logical conclusion of that is that if Star Platinum, who can act during time stop, were to use it, then obviously he'd be able to just wallop on him as free as he wants.
Yeah, you can have that too, right? And also people say none but Diablo should be able to move and erase time. Keep in mind, right? So let's go to the backgrounds, right? So when he activates erase time, there's always a black background, right, or whatever. So once, he's look at this, he's trying to throw more punches, but every time he keeps getting stopped. He's trying to resume the ability, he's trying to end it, right? He's trying to fight him, but he realizes that he's still he's back in erase time because he's getting reverted. Basically, as soon as his ability ended, he just got reverted before the ability ended, right? And then he's getting reverted before like he even activated the ability, which is what's happening. That's why he's seeing like time erase again, even though he like deactivated to attack Jorno. So like,
Yep.
yeah, that's just a pretty bunk thing right there. Okay, we gotta keep going here. Okay, what else? What else? Characters, yeah, blah blah blah. So I can safely say that she was affected by Time Eraser, debunking the idea that he reacted and activated. This logically is the conclusion that revert to zero turned on automatic and reset. So that's the problem. Why does it lead to that conclusion? Like, why does it have to be automatic? It's in reaction to something happening. That's not automatic. He doesn't.
Yeah, we already
have any
just.
evidence for it. Let's see here. An argument that can be used in question to my arguments that Diavolo was having his ass affected by the ability. It says, okay, but how does that prove it's automatic? Okay, so I'll give a logical explanation why this cannot be possible. GR spoke after space and time had already been reset by revert to zero? What? What is he talking about?
He's talking about
like after GER's RTZ has already been activated, though, like that's a point that goes against him, and that just proves that, like, he couldn't really like talk to him, like, during erase time, like as Diavolo was literally like moving in a better position. Like he only was able to do that afterwards when like RTZ was already activated.
Yeah, this is
that's what
crazy.
I'm talking about. Jotaro just beat him with time stop.
Yeah, this is so far this doc is incredibly incoherent. Like, holy shit.
So the erase, we don't have to address that right now because he has a whole final point about erase time. So
erase time. Oh god.
We can just address that.
Yeah, this is just look at this. It says the death loop. Oh, what's this? The death loop, which is not other than revert to zero, applied on death.
Like
Whoa. Yeah, that's another thing I disagree with. I literally don't think like revert to zero. Like when it comes to revert to zero, right? You don't have to die in order for the loop to like activate. You just need to be near death. It's just staying true to the ability, right? You're basically, let's say if you're like, I don't know, 9.999999999 seconds away from death, that's when you get reverted to zero. Like, that's the whole point of the ability. You will never reach the effect. If you reach the effect of death, then that's not true to revert to zero. You're not supposed to reach the effect.
Also, this point about like other universes doesn't make any sense. There's like no proof that these are universes or that are even creating them.
What the? Oh no! He thinks the universe argument. Oh, that's so
bad. Wait! Is he still
No.
What?
It says show to affect Diavolo can be affirmed what seems to other universes. Oh no!
Those are outer universes.
Oh,
Is he basing that off Trish's sensing ability?
No, he's just basing off. He just says affects Diavolo and be affirmed to what seems to be other universes. With just no.
No.
Oh no!
I remember that argument.
That's terrible. Like,
jeez,
that's terrible. Like, okay, now I'm gonna explain something real quick. Oh, okay, now an actual sane way to interpret what's happening to Diavolo, right, is that I do think he's getting PFR, but not to other universes. But what can be said is that most likely, a more logical deduction than that shit is like different points like within like time, right? So for example, okay, when he died, right, or like quote unquote died, right, he got BFR'd to this room, right, the morgue, and then this lady goes over his exact time of death when he like climbed into that sewer at a different point in time. So this is like literally she's saying his well it says the date is 25th like 11:20 a.m. She even says like he was like I remember he says I remember following the story. She says this file number 68 headed by himself, Dr. Monica, right?
Died of a stab wound.
Identity
well, I thought
unknown.
he died of drowning. No, maybe that was the end.
He died of a stab. No, he died of a stab wound. But it says right here. It says 30 to 40 years. But she says this identity unknown. Judging by the condition of the skin, estimated to have died 48 to 54 hours ago. Right. That's what she's saying. Right. And then she says, according to the report, the body is found near the mouth of the river. Right. It says, but he was inhaled like a little water, no drowning, and it's not to be the cause of death. So she's basically describing exactly what we saw in the previous panels, what happened to Diavolo. So I think it's more logical to like assert that he's just getting BFR to just different points in time, like in a timeline, rather than like into different universes or whatever the fuck, right? Because that's insane. And GR isn't constructing any scenarios. Like, it's just he's placed into scenarios where he's just gonna basically beta die or whatever, or almost die and repeat.
In some cases, we just see like people walk up to him and be like, "Hey, you weren't here a minute ago. What's up with you?" Like
That's funny as hell. Think about that. You're just walking on the street.
He just
freak out.
Just a
crackhead laying on the ground yelling.
How good is Trish's sensing ability again? What distance can she sense him?
Like, she can sense him. Like, for example, let's say a whole like Rome Coliseum, right? And for like and also she can just sense when her father's just generally alive anywhere, right? But like the sense gets stronger the more she's near him, right? And she just says, like, even though Diavolo's going through all of this, right? She senses that he's still alive, which is the point, right? He didn't die.
Yeah, GR hits her like, oh no, he's fine. We don't have to worry about him anymore.
Yeah, and also
like
yeah, like that's what she says, right? And she and also another thing, she says a laceration. By the way, medical term, laceration is basically a cut, like, or stab wound. So that's another thing supporting that. Like, this is just it's just BFRing to different places in time, like future, past, present, like in the timeline, right? And into different scenarios where he's just gonna like almost die every time, right? And then she says, "Yo, Jorno, like I can still sense that he's alive, right? So he still exists, basically." Alright, so like another thing. Let's see here.
And that panel being at night, the one like before she says that, does support the time argument. Like, because it's nighttime. Like, if you go up a little bit,
I mean, like
looking up at the sky or whatever.
Yeah.
We can just move on. Like, there's literally just no evidence that these are different universes.
Yeah, also, I kind of want to also go over this, like, BFRing, like, okay, like, even if we assume the best, like, okay, he's BFRing them to different space times, like, I don't see how that would equate to like multiversal, like, AP or anything, because that's just teleportation.
Yeah, to put in Kosa's words, it's a nothing feat.
Yeah, it's literally a nothing feat. Like, it wouldn't really do. Like, that's just teleportation. Like, unless you like go with like, okay, he's creating these other space times, but like that's a stretch, and there's nothing that like even supports that, like in JoJo Veller or JoJo Agogo.
Yeah. Also, like, another thing he just tries to use is that, like, once again, he's bringing this stupid fucking argument to summarize everything. It's logical to assume that Urtizio is impossible to compare the existing the measuring rod, right? Existing stand because it's above them, completely supported by its feet, and he says this also lines up with the meaning in the dictionary, like let's see here.
This is literally just just because some.
Well, yeah.
Like in text, like what we know it's referring to is the fact that it doesn't know how to quantify like GR and
like there's literally two definitions, like when he's trying to assert this one, but he's leaving out the one we're bringing up that it's just
there's literally one that contradicts them.
Not suitable for comparison, right?
Implying like you can't compare it to
like how can we compare it? Like, it's what? Oh my god, this is terrible.
If I don't have the words for something, it's like, okay, it's incomparable. It's like my ability is still better than yours.
Oh, he's gonna use JoJo Veller now.
Oh no, he says he still has incomparable stats. JoJo Veller, like, okay, what this means nothing. This literally means nothing. It's his ultimate ability to bring everything to nothing. Like, that's why it's incomparable. Like, what? How do you rate such an ability?
This is literally like going against like one of his previous points where he's trying to argue that like the attack power statement is referring to like AP, even though that statement is referencing him being the ultimate like stand. And the ultimate stand comes from him having the ultimate ability. Like, what do you want to post?
This is like nuts, dude. Like, holy shit. Like, okay, yeah, it's just like how you even like measure an ability that, let's say, like, how do you try to like physically measure an ability to, like, let's say it's not even there. It's like it's not even tangible. You can't even touch it. It's like it's practically like an invisible force, right? You're trying to say, oh, what's this invisible force's destructive capability? What's its speed? How? How would you quantify that? How? You can't even do that with time stop. Like, how would you quantify like a time, like the ability time stop, right? Like, if you try to quantify that by stand stats, how would you quantify time stop, like, destructive capability? How?
It'd have to be like none, like literally like a none or an A.
Like, and that's why we say it's just not suitable for comparison. It's just, that's what it really means. Like when it says like it's like impossible to compare. That's what they mean. Like how would you compare it, right? All we know is that the ability is just like strong, just like time stop. Let's say like it's the strongest ability, right? But we can't really like measure that via stats because there's just no way of measuring like such an
Usually
ability in
the
the first
stats-
place due to its ability in
He
general.
conceded on the F.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's keep continuing. It says even after the introduction made Evan. Oh, so basically he's just trying to no limit fallacy. He's just because.
Yeah, like ultimate and it's just talking about like the ability's potency. It's not talking about like all categories.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if we play that by that game, that means that
It's
it's like
a statement to like the highest possible interpretation.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would just,
Honestly, go ahead.
well, I mean, that would just mean that like okay, if I were to just play this game, the ultimate ability return like everything to nothing, right? Like I say the strongest ability because it has the none stats. Okay, fine. Let's just apply the same logic to time stop. That means it's above like let's say here Tussac 4, D4C Love Train. Like you realize how crazy that sounds, right? Like just to stretch it beyond like parts it actually appears in, rather than using it. It's crazy.
Like crazy how like only the GER fandom does this. Like you don't see anybody going like time stop could like be like Love Train Act 4 like.
Yeah.
Generally,
we don't see that like ever.
You don't see like
even like time stop. We get shown that like Act 4 can walk through it.
Yeah, clearly, like these statements refer to their respective parts and below. Like it's just like a no limit fallacy.
Obviously.
We already talked about this like next point. Like this is also just semantics. Like they both just mean none. Like he's trying to like.
Oh yeah, that's just semantics. Yeah, we already went over that. Like basically, guy probably like this. Oh no, I'm not gonna say it. But let's see here. It says I cover and explain all stats with none. Okay, like we already went over all.
Okay.
It's just semantics. Right?
I would say like one of the more ratty arguments he like used was like trying to say like because in JoJo Valor I believe it still does say that GER is the ultimate stand, but like or in ultimate stand, like the thing is like there if I'm right there are more ultimate stands than just GER. Like GER is just not the only one if I'm right.
Yeah.
Like
Wouldn't it be Jotaro Star Platinum, the World, Wonder of You, Love Train?
It's like
well, just like saying like ultimate stand in general. Like so far, it's just only 3 stands have that label. Like the world, like Star Platinum, the world, of course, and also GER, right?
Yeah.
What's crazy actually is fun fact: Star Platinum like had ultimate stand statements before like part 5 even began. Actually, that's a fun fact.
Then doesn't he have them afterwards?
Yeah, and he has them afterwards too.
Yeah, I got data books as well.
Yep.
Yeah, like let me pull it up real quick because I know some people are not gonna believe me.
I already like posted it.
Is it like literally in the stand stats page?
Yeah, we already like over.
Like all
the little MGR link, right?
Yeah, we already went over it.
Yeah, like where is this thing?
Did you just say immigrant?
No,
I was gonna say something.
Imgur. Yeah, literally. Okay, right here, Red Hot Chili Peppers says, even disregarding the ultimate stand Star Platinum. So that state was made before parts 5. Holy, part 4. That statement was made in part 4 for Star Platinum, and now GR is also an ultimate stand in part 5, and then Star Platinum is still an ultimate stand in part 6, and not only that,
obviously doesn't mean you all understands in every other aspect, or else Star Platinum would be like inaccessible speed and like fucking like uni AP.
But basically,
uni AP. Oh, what do you mean? He needed uni AP to beat Poochie.
Yeah. What makes an ultimate stand is just like an ultimate like if you're an ultimate stand generally if you're an ultimate stand you just have an ultimate ability, which is for Star Platinum's time stop. For GR it's just revert to 0, right? They're both like literally called the strongest ability, right? Like that's basically what's happening here. And when he says this guy says his conclusion is revert to 0 is not hard to compare but impossible to compare, right? He's just basically trying to win.
Nobody said it was hard to compare. Like we never said that. Like the video like was you saying it's completely impossible to compare.
Like
it's not impossible to compare because it's beyond like comparison.
Let's just
to understand.
Yeah.
It's just like
can't be compared because it doesn't know how to compare it. Like you can't quantify.
Yeah. Like
it's like categories are.
Yeah, like I said, there's a difference between something that can be quantifiable, that's like can't be quantified in the sense that it's beyond like something that's finite, or something that you just can't quantify or don't know.
Yeah, that's why like there's 2 definitions. Either it's beyond comparison, or what's most likely that we went over is that not suitable for comparison. Like for example,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like perfectly consistent.
That's a good definition right there.
Bro, he keeps debunking himself with these definitions. He's so ratty. He only brings up like one. He only brings up this one, but never this one. What is this?
Think of like Star Platinum as a Ferrari, right? It's really fast and it does its job, right? And then GR is a food truck. It's not very fast, but it does its job. Both of these are done here, but it's not suitable to compare them in speed. Like they both do different things.
I mean, like even if I ran to the, let's say we did debunk his point.
I might
say
have been
that
stupid as
RTZ
crap, but
skills above like the other like abilities, right?
Yeah.
That would only be RTZ's potency and like other chances to like glitz like RTZ.
Yeah. Also, point 6.
Yeah.
If time was to be measured by like stats, man, dude, I feel like this is like a total drama episode. Like we're like in a challenge to get through this fucking document. Holy shit! Okay, campers, let's get through this document.
Hours, yeah.
All right.
We started at like 12.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we started at 12. Yeah.
We're getting through it. We're getting through it. We're gonna.
All right,
speed through
campers.
this.
How long can you last?
I think there's like 7 points.
Whoever gets
total.
to this end of this doc gets full immunity.
I'm pretty sure there's only like 7 points.
Yeah.
We should be good.
I'm gonna sit here until like we stay here to melt. I'm gonna sit here until like the morning. I'm winning that. Okay.
Alright, it says if time stop were to be measured by stats, they will be none too. He's gonna go over this. What's the debunk? Honestly, the first part of this argument is straight out of headcanon. How?
Okay,
It says
We already addressed this. It's just semantics.
Stacks, it says your stand you skate literally goes against what is it? It says it's
What?
It's just about.
Yeah, we already went over this.
Oh my god, it's the same thing.
It's just
Goddamn.
the same argument. We already went over this. Okay, like this is pretty bad. And then he's like, "Oh, precision because the ability lasts like a few. Wait, what? Let me look here. Skill power none. But none though. Blah blah blah. Counter argument. The attack power equals strongest ability. So time stop should have the same rank thing as reducing strength. No, I already debunked it. No, you didn't. You didn't debunk anything. What the hell? It's the same thing.
Speed. Okay.
And its speed compared to Vertex Zero is truly bound by Jotaro's. What? It's bound by Jotaro's. No, we already disproved in that like the ability's not. Vertex Zero is automatic, so like
he's going back to like
persistence E because the ability lasts a few seconds. What?
What?
What the? Huh? Okay.
Orno literally dies in the future. There's no way that's automatic, or
No,
he wouldn't be dead.
I like how you say what persistence is an E because the ability. That's so fucking dumb because you can apply the same logic to just GER reverting King Crimson's ability that lasts 10 seconds, dude.
Yeah. What?
That's a stupid.
Not like
point.
GER's RTZ lasts for an infinite amount of time, and also persistence. I'm pretty sure that like this is just stamina, right?
Or something like like how would you even like time stop stamina?
Like, yeah,
what?
it's stamina. Like,
Let-
right?
let me-
Like what?
Like persistent. Oh yeah,
It's not talking about.
Oh yeah. I tried to
about, like-
copy and paste it, but I forgot. This dorky motherfucker just didn't allow that. Persist.
Definition.
Yeah, and JoJo like they use it
The
like
prolonged
as
existence of something. Like what?
Is it like? Is he saying that the persistence of time stop? Because yeah, 5 to 6 seconds isn't a long time, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the problem is the same logic
like,
can be applied to like revert to 0 too. Like, but like, huh? I don't even get like what. Like, let's say if I were to grant, like, okay, let's just say it's just need, like, what does that prove exactly? How does that help? Like, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's just say, how about this? I'm gonna be super charitable. Let's just say persistence versus like time stop is like a B, and like persistence for like revert to 0 is like an A, right? Because it lasts 10 seconds, right? It doesn't matter because one ability is just stronger than the other, and literally most of the ability, right? That we can like say for certain, like that's just how would we quantify destructive like capability for like a time stop? It doesn't defeat the point at all. Like is like how would you quantify speed? How would you quantify
the range.
this? Like how would you quantify all that? Like
yeah.
even
Like you can quantify Platinum's like range in terms of like its temporal range, but like technically it wouldn't have like a physical range.
Wait, that's the funny part. That's the funny part. Like I think I saw it somewhere in the doc, but like basically, It's, let me see if I can find it. It's the world, right? Oh,
Like,
fuck,
wouldn't
that's too much.
wouldn't like there's a lot of stands that have effects that last for a very long time but are infinitely worse.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
yeah, but the point is I'm trying to make here is that essentially, I think he had like a scan. I think I'll post. I'll see if I find it. Oh, I found it. All right, Araki literally says verbatim that like times, like, basically time abilities like time stop and like King Crimson don't have range or whatever. I'm not even joking. That's by, keep in mind, this is by like here, I'll send this. And it's by like Lucid, I believe, right? But they use
Isn't
this-
there the statement that like literally when the world stops time, it has to condense all the air on the planet in its tank,
Nah,
so it would be at least.
Nah, that's just like a. I think it's a Checkmeister video thing, but like.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
mean. My bad.
That's all good. But yeah, I get what you mean. But like, look here, I'm posting this in cafe chat so I can so I can show the screen right. It's like like in terms of range, like it says.
Oh, I also saw this point. Like, it literally means nothing.
This is supported.
Like, this is just a like association style.
Like what?
All it means is that like they both affect time. Like, in which way they affect time, we just don't know.
Yeah, but like, it's kind of crazy though. Like, persistency because the ability. Like, I don't know. He didn't really prove any points here, to be honest. So his conclusion is that revert to zero has like none stats for a different reason.
Also, the stands he lists together like don't even have like strong similarities. Like the god of like Comb, like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like those stands are like quite different.
But he's saying like he says it would have like all none, like revert to zero, right? But by product of the ability of revert to zero, like working within 10 seconds, right? That's a quantification that we can put on the ability, just like he's putting on time stop of like 5 seconds. So like that argument gets nowhere. And also, it just doesn't prove any point at all. Like, it's the same thing.
Might be 9 points, not 7. Oh,
yeah. So that's enough. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. So we are debunked. Like, what was it? Point.
I'll be honest. I don't really care about point 7.
Point 7.
So,
but can't be infinite, inaccessible, immeasurable because it's quasi manipulate. Oh fuck me.
Oh my god.
Oh no. It says the entire argument is known as appealing to reality. What?
Is it seriously the King Crimson actually erases time? If it does, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
It's both.
No, the King Crimson erasing. I skimmed through.
King Crimson already caught in the stand effect, so it wouldn't matter what he does. He could go at his super mega infinite speed times 20. If the effect says no, you're not allowed to do that, it's just a ball and chain on him.
Oh my god, he's saying RTZ has an inaccessible speed. I just read part of it there.
Oh no.
Oh god.
I've seen Reddit. I'm not surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
Is he talking about specifically the activation of the effect?
He's just talking.
Or the effect afterwards?
Both. Just in general. That's what he wants with like revert to zero.
I don't really care about like these specific points, but
yeah, these are.
I mean, the thing for me is like, how do you exactly say that when like there's many points where it's like, okay, when things happen, like cars crash into each other, like, I mean, you have cats like walking over Jorna who seemingly clearly have their memory, yet no one has the yet Jorna doesn't have the recollection of the cats passing by him. It's in the Bruno versus Diavolo fight if you want to look at it.
Like here, Vegas. You know what? I'll hand this over to Vegas. Vegas, what you got for this point, huh?
Okay. Okay, let's see. Limiting RTZ speed using real life limitate. Wait, what the heck? Okay. And not applicable to this argument is also contrary with the feats RTZ has demonstrated it proposed. Conclusion. Wait, what? Okay.
so like,
Means that RTZ cannot even be light speed.
Does he have,
can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So like, I see a lot of people like overusing like the appeal to reality. Like, just because like something is fictional doesn't mean like it's free of making like your argument logically sound, right? Like, you still can't like have a contradictory argument.
Yeah.
So like, he's not even like engaging with like the logic the Jobber presented at all. Like, he's just saying it's just an appeal to reality, which like he's not explaining like why this would be fallacious in this case. I mean, if you want to add on to it, Vegan, you can as well. But
Yeah. like really a lot of this just doesn't even seem like much of a point at all. Like, he's just trying to say like that somehow like cause like if I'm understanding this correctly, like just that causality manipulation is somehow like faster, like or should be like immeasurable speed, but he doesn't really say why. Other than just saying like to say otherwise is just an appeal to reality. But like what?
Yeah.
Like, that's just weird.
Isn't there a scene for this guy?
Oh, this still goes on?
What?
No way, dude. This is crazy. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
the rest.
Conclusions are false. Worked in sport space-time spark erase. Okay, that one's easy to debunk. Like,
I mean, just ignore that because his final point is about like time erasure entirely. So
I mean, there's two ways to debunk it. Like, of course, like I would say, like, of course, like the fact that it doesn't actually erase time. Though the easiest way is like like it's already, as we mentioned before, is the fact that the ability activated at the end or after, like Diavolo's time or so-called time erasure ends. So even if we assume he actually does erase time, it happened after, like, or right around the end of it, thus making it not just even dismantling this whole point without even. Like, even if he does believe King Crimson actually does erase time.
Yeah, I think to support that, like, some people want to see something right, is that, like, so let's see here. I'm going to pull this up for y'all. Let's see. God dang it. I hate when these clips are just so cut up, I can't even, like look at them properly. How on earth did I fail?
Do you have Netflix?
Dang, he is mad. Nah, Netflix won't show. Like, they have, like, a little weird pirate thing, or whatever.
Yeah, just because it's Nintendo's music.
Bro, it's so efficient. That stuff doesn't even appear on OBS. That shocked me. Alright, so, like, look at this, right? So another thing to provide more, like, evidence that, like, literally his ability, like, ended, right? Look. Look what happens. That's the end of his ability. You see the...
Yep.
And that's when he attacks. Look. And that's what...
You haven't even been watching. You can hear the sound effect they play.
Yeah, you can hear the sound effect. Because, look, so right here... Everything in the black space, that's Diavolo's, like, domain, right? And then after it gets, like when the ability reverts to activates, look. After the ability. And look at the background. Revert to 0.
Yep.
So, like, bruh, like... oh my
Bruh.
god.
I mean,
Because,
he didn't even post any scans of time being erased. Like he only does that in his like last.
yeah, that's,
Just
like,
like
the
that.
only time, like, Diavolo can actually harm Jorno, like, where it can actually be considered an attack, right, is outside of, like, his own ability, so...
Yeah. So yeah, like, no, I honestly think you could, like, you don't even need to delve into time erasure, like, for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says, okay, so we debunked that one. What was the
point.
one? What else we got here?
You were on point 8.
Point eight, okay. GR can't revert to 0 Jorno's death. Fuck, how is someone gonna argue this? This is crazy. What's the...
He doesn't.
Oh, thank God. Why is he posted then? What the fuck? Okay.
Okay.
It says,
Point 9. Shit, there might be more than 10 points. So
statement. Okay.
Part 5.
And part
So for this statement, it's literally just a knowledge claim from Polnareff. Like he hasn't seen GER, he doesn't know how strong GER is, so it would just be a knowledge claim.
Yeah. So Polnareff's statement in part 5. This term was never used. What term was it never used? What was it? Was he talking? Is he talking about ultimate stance?
I think maybe the power of dominating souls. Yeah. Like, cause he's saying, like, but GER has never been shown to manipulate souls.
Wait, it says only.
Shit, there's more than 10 points.
Wait, it says Requiem is the power to dominate souls, but GR has never shown to manipulate souls because. Wait, what?
So we're probably talking about Cherry Requiem, right?
I'm confused.
The souls.
The statement made by Polnareff would
I mean, he
existing stand. What? Oh,
The
like
statement, yeah, the statement he's talking about.
he does manipulate souls because it's the whole the infinite death thing, right?
yeah, like
Like you said earlier.
basically, I was saying what makes, like, the ability of a Virtuoso so different from, like, other stands is because this stand manipulates your will and soul, like, because of this, like, special arrow, right? It grants you ultimate ability, but it grants you something special that you can manipulate people's, like, a person's will, essentially, and soul to dominate souls, right? That's, like, the only thing that makes it special. At the end of the day.
It doesn't really matter either way because it's just like a knowledge claim from Polnareff.
Yeah, that too.
Also, like, wouldn't this be referring to Silver Cherry Requiem?
Plus, even let's say even if, like, the statement from Polnareff is true, and, like, let's say it makes GR skill above, like, Star Platinum, then Star Platinum already has like statements in Part 6 that like retcon that. So it is.
There's also the fact that Polnareff didn't even like see like Rage Up Star Platinum at the end of the fight.
He didn't even see
Yeah.
Han Leo.
Yeah, because he was knocked the fuck out.
Yep. Point 10. 10! GR is permanent. Okay.
No, it's
so
not. The
what's-
arrow fell out, right?
Well,
Oh. Go ahead.
oh, no, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm assuming he's gonna go with like the whole thing like, oh, okay, like, you know, GER didn't exist in Part 6, thus like of course like, you know, the statement that is given to Star Platinum in Part 6 doesn't apply because GER doesn't exist.
I don't really like I don't really care that much about this point either, but
I think I'll
If-
I'll just lightly go over because I kind of know what he's like talking about. He's just trying to like, he's like, oh, you're just comparing like two different stands. Like, listen, so when it comes to Silver Chariot Requiem, right? The only reason why Silver Chariot Requiem was able to fully exist in the first place is because he held onto the arrow for a long time, like basically for like longer than like 5 or like 10 seconds, right? That's the only reason why. And another reason why it can go on like without Polnareff, right? Like Polnareff's like, you know, let's say being alive or not, is because that was Polnareff's desire for just like the stand to actually go about its like days, right, to protect the arrow, right, regardless. And even if like you strip that state of the arrow, the stand will disappear because it's fully realized, just like GR is fully realized, right? So GR would not disappear even if like Jorno does have the arrow, just like with Silver Chariot Requiem, like you can knock him down and the arrow falls away from him, he's not going to disappear is the point. And then like basically people saying, oh, the arrow fell on the ground due to Jorno losing GR, it's just literally headcanon or whatever. And then like saying GR had no purpose anymore. And
that's
like,
awesome.
Like,
No,
what?
Yeah, that's weird.
That's really weird. So like, would time stop like disappear like because it's ultimate ability too? Like, because basically Jordan got it because he believed he could do it, right? Just like his Dio and his stands are similar. So since he defeated Dio,
this next point is like hilarious.
Yeah, I'll get to it. But since since Dio,
yeah, outlier. That's crazy.
But since Juro defeated Dio with time stop, wouldn't that just mean time stop would go away since time stop doesn't have any purpose anymore?
Yep.
Like, dude, yeah, look at that point. It's so stupid. Wait, time stop being a blade now? Wow, this guy.
Let's get this.
Ultimate, yeah. Time stop being the ultimate ability. He's just a blatant outlier. Wow, we just go through like 6 scans even in JoJo. Wait, it says the time stop has not been called the ultimate ability once in either JoJo or JoJo Development. That's a lie. Oh
Wait,
no.
let me check the Imgur link real quick.
The Imgur link. Oh, let me look here. Which one? This one? Yeah.
Let's see. He's talking about JoJo Gogo or JoJo Valley.
He's talking about like JoJo or Goku. He's like, it's never been referred to once as
Gogo and Valley. Let's see if that's
JoJo Veller. But like, why? Wait, I just realized why would they even matter in the first place?
Yeah, like like why?
Yeah.
He's already stated in the series, like
why is he like putting the guidebooks over like the main canon source material? Like,
yeah, like
yeah.
Like if Araki, like I'm gonna use this analogy, right? Like if Araki like doesn't say like in JoJo or Gogo like Jotaro has a hat in his head, that doesn't mean Jotaro doesn't have a hat in his head or that it got retconned. It just means he doesn't want to repeat previously established information.
Yeah, like I know this is like me and Walt have also talked about this since like this was like something like also that like he like had an issue with. Like he personally thinks like that statements ultimately override feats as opposed to like feats like being higher than like statements.
Because like I was also talking to him about like King Crimson Erasing Time, and like I showed him like multiple times we would just see like blatant movement of like non-holographic like just inanimate objects just moving in erase time, right? And then like he always just goes back to the statements about like like Diavolo saying that nothing can move in erase time to like justify like the blatant like anti-feats that say otherwise. And
Yeah,
this is
honestly like.
That's right.
Yeah, even with those statements, honestly, you could literally just call that like a name fallacy, like like Vegeta's like Big Bang attack, like actually being a Big Bang.
Like when Diavolo says like none can move in erase time, you can just argue he's saying that none can move outside of their fated path in erase time.
Yeah.
So
that's another thing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we just like pretty much debunked like this point. It was pretty trash. Like yes, GR still exists. He's permanent. Okay, next point.
You literally met. Wait, hold on. Go back to it real quick.
Huh? Alright.
He literally like the panel he's literally talking about that tells the reader to look more into information. That's Star Platinum stand stats, which call it the ultimate stand. Like the panel he's talking about literally goes against it.
Oh yeah.
Wait, no way. No
Hold up.
way. Oh wait, this.
Oh
Do
no.
you want to open your continue browser? No, wait, no, I can't.
Oh man, that sucks.
That's.
I know he's talking. Wait, no, he's talking about.
His channels.
He's talking about the Star Platinum stats. He's talking about like JoJo Agogo, like the
okay.
one that said JoJo Agogo for more information.
Yeah. Which is, it's kind of ironic that like in part 6, where like Star Platinum is called like literally the ultimate stand is its rawest translations. It also says revert to JoJo Go too. Like, so.
This stand like I've also seen like him argue or like GR like the only statements that say GR can't be compared to like other stands. That's in difference to his ability. Like nothing says you can't compare like his stats to like other stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your speed.
Point 11 of the video. Revert to zero's touch base.
Wait, did you even say this, or did you not say like this is just a possible interpretation?
Yeah, I say like it's like two different interpretations. Either you can say revert to zero like it's just reacting based on GR's reactions, or the ability is just reaction based on like, well, basically GR hitting you with like a physical attack, right, to strike you with like the ability, right?
You didn't even like take this as like 100% fact, but if you want to address it, you can go ahead.
Okay. So let's defend about Requiem. It's referring to so. All right. The event you described doesn't necessarily cause what your art. Wait, what? Why do you link correlation versus is not causation? What? All right, are you? No way. This is so funny.
What?
Oh my god. Basically, he's saying the event you described doesn't necessarily cause what you're arguing for. When I bring up the statement that like those struck by the Requiem, so it could also be argued that it's a physical attack. It says the fact that the laser fired by GER is non-lethal is also wrong. Oh my god, that was so out of that was so out of context. Okay, when I said the beam shot from like GR is non-lethal, I meant that it was non-lethal to Diavolo because he survived it. It went through his hand into like a pillar. So, whoa. Whoa, why did it take me out of context? Alright, Diablo only reacted thanks to Epitaph. Yeah. Okay.
What?
Why is he going on about the stupid lethality statement? My point was that when GR shot the beam, he would be struck with the ability of Requiem. Okay. This statement only speaks to speaks of the death.
We haven't even gotten to the longest point yet.
Not revert to zero as a whole. The death loop is revert to zero.
Hold up. If I'm right, in JoJo Valor, like it even states that even in death, like a person's death is also reverted to zero. What the heck?
He literally can't. Oh my god, he just debunks himself. He says
I am like sent you like statements for JoJo Valor.
Hold up, is he straight up ignoring his own source? Did I just miss something?
Now he's trying to say that the struck part is referring to like when GR needs to kill. Well, he doesn't kill him, but he has to. What? Huh? Oh my god, this is so bad.
Wait, no. Hold up. It comes from JoJo Valor, literally the guidebook that he constantly references.
Yo, post that real quick.
Yeah, even the death of people who are struck by is brought back to zero. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on. No, this is talking about the statement like you linked vegan. It's talking about like JoJo Agogo.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's JoJo Agogo. The thing that he constantly uses, like his favorite guy.
I thought you were talking about like JoJo Valor.
No. I made a mistake. Like which honestly just makes it even worse on his part because he constantly references JoJo Agogo like it's the holy Bible.
Yeah, let me read it out.
Goodness.
So he did.
Even the death of the people who are struck by the Requiem is brought back to zero, and those people continue to die over and over again. It's literally RTZ is literally causing the death loop. It's the same thing.
No, but according to him, correlation is not causation.
Correlation is not causation. It's not like he's literally reverting her death.
Oh wait. Oh wait, the cherry. Here's the cherry. Oh, sorry. Continue. Wait, quick. Now, yes, I'm random.
Huh?
Oh, continue real quick. Continue. I got some now.
It's not like they refer to zero as literally the death loop. It's not like it literally reverts people's death to zero. It's not like it's literally the exact same ability just being applied differently. Like
Literally, but also
no, oh no,
Yeah.
there's just a minor correlation, right?
no,
Minor correlation.
the cherry on top. Another non sequitur fallacy.
A non sequitur.
I already debunked this. I'm not gonna
Like,
explain.
that's not even
I'm not
a
gonna explain
point.
fallacy.
What?
I committed it.
Not gonna explain why this is a fallacy. Not gonna explain how it applies to you. Not gonna explain how you committed it. I'm not gonna explain how I debunked anything.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Honestly, I don't even think it applies here. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
How much fucking sweat do you think this guy's keyboard is covered in?
I don't know, man. This is a lot of sweat.
Bro, imagine you make a response to this that's like 100 points.
Also,
Oh my god.
He says your whole argument is completely fallacious, no joke. You know, I'm gonna shift my glasses upwards and be like, I'm gonna be that guy and be like, you're committing the fallacy.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna respond to this though, because like it's
goddamn.
kind of hard to translate like talking.
Yeah, like
Wait,
yeah, because I remember when me and some random dude were like in a VC convo, like he had trouble like understanding us when we were talking English fast. He said he prefer like if we speak slower, like he could kind of.
Yeah, that was going pretty fast on some points. So
wait,
he felt like I didn't even respond to this, like let alone make something coherent.
Wait, I just realized something.
Yeah.
I think we're in a loop. I think we're in like a weird Walt loop. Look at this. Revert to zero's touch base. Okay, that's point 11.
We go back.
What's point 12? Revert to zero's touch base.
What the heck? Are we being reverted to zero or something?
Bro.
Holy shit.
Why are we
This must
going
be-
over this?
Bro, the
just-
the GR.
Wait, what? Okay, we already know the conclusion's wrong. The opponent must not need to die. Listen, he's saying the opponent must die in order for the death loop to activate. We already went over that.
That's actually a lower interpretation.
That's true. But like, we already know that this is like completely false and like actually the
Yeah, we know it's
opposite of
false because like Trish was still sensing like Diavolo was alive.
Not to mention, like,
Yeah.
like once again, that goes against what revert to zero's ability is, regardless of those statements. Because if the ability is to prevent you from reaching an effect, if you die, like for real, that is an effect. That's literally completely contradictory to the ability. Like what would what like is supported and makes more sense is that like it's like just right before you die.
Bro, there's no. I thought this was like 7 points. I miscounted. It's like 14 at least.
Okay. Alright. So GER IC doesn't attack and wait for its opponent to first action.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
You know,
I'm not gonna read this like point. Alright, here. I'm just gonna pull up a video. Because these people, I don't know, are like brain dead. Like when it comes to like the fight with.
I think he's misinterpreting what you're saying. Like, you weren't saying that like GR wasn't like attacking King Crimson first. You were saying that GR was literally standing in place for like multiple panels, and like the anime adaptation is literally like 40 or something seconds of him just standing still.
You know, me and some random dude actually some random dude dug up the panels and like apparently GER was literally just standing there. I think for like 40,
you
like
you can bring up
panels.
the manga too. Like, there's multiple panels of him just standing still.
Yeah, like.
And then afterwards, he's still just standing still, like letting like King Crimson like attack him and like make the attacks like come near.
Yeah, Araki specifically sat down and drew this guy doing nothing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Let me bring this up.
Like right there.
All right, here.
Like, that right
So-
there's when GR was.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna speed this up too. I
What
want to show
time
you
was that?
how long this guy sits here, man. Look.
So it's 117, right?
Like this is 117. This is how long GR just like floats in place doing nothing, right?
115. Oh my god.
This is 2 times speed, man.
Hey, Jobber, is this really worth it? We're spending like an hour of our life on this thing.
It's
Okay, so it's not like
I'm back.
fucking a death loop is literally RTZ. It's not like that's what directly causes the death loop.
But like
Yeah.
as y'all can see, it
117 from like to like
207.
It took forever, and people would be like, "Well, actually, he was just hyping himself up." Okay, fine. Let's go back to the.
Okay, look at the manga. This one.
Here.
Okay.
Actually, it's just cinematic time.
Oh no, it's not cinematic.
Oh yeah, cinematic time. Even though they're literally talking, somehow they're fucking talking on like.
Yeah.
But like the worst part about it, because it just reveals like the whole stupidity of like just GR in retrospect. Because
And look at like all the lines of text. Like,
yeah,
if you put that into like a words per minute calculator, like that'd probably get like an insane time frame.
yeah, but basically
Yeah.
the main thing I'm trying to get at is like Basically,
Okay.
when GR was just sitting there doing nothing, this literally allowed Diavolo to precog the attack of GR. That's what he said.
Wait, go back to the start of the chapter. Okay, go back. Okay, that's when he awakens. Let's count the panels. Let's count the panels. I'm standing still, right?
All right.
Right.
All right.
All right. 1.
Wait, go back. Go back.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Back all the way back. All right.
This one.
Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 panels so far. 9, 10, 11 panels of him standing still. 13 panels of him standing still.
15?
14, 15, 16, 17, 18 panels of him standing still while they're having a whole ass dialogue.
Yeah. And so that's when he finally
That's
attacks.
right?
And then that's when he attacks.
Yeah, and once again, like this isn't like some like he's just hyping him up like Dragon Ball style. Like no, this is the dumbness. Like basically,
And it can't just be like cinematic time, like timing, because they're really talking with him this entire time. Like they're having whole ass conversations. Like
yeah. But what makes
about
But what makes it so stupid in the first place is that this is an opponent that like Giorno and GR went to like basically put in a death loop right ASAP, and they're just standing there like an idiot. And this allowed Diavolo to precog the attack GR was gonna fling at him in the first place. He even says, look, I couldn't see, but the way he attacked, I was able to forecast that attack. The only way Diablo can forecast things is before it happens, obviously. So he was basically precogging like Giorno floating there before he even attacked. Is the point.
Yeah.
So it's
also the other instance also like when he even like you mentioned in the
grand finale
where he lets Diablo freaking pull like time erasure like he lets him do all of that and does nothing. And also even if we assume Walt's interpretation of like he's able to move in time erasure, well he should have done something.
Speaking about time erasure.
It's like blatantly known that it was working on GER because like he's doing the same old like slow mo fucking barrage thing that like Sticky Fingers did during that.
Generally, see, with final point, like the only reason you brought up like Eyes of Heaven was because like other like GR fans were trying to use it. It's like determine GR's.
Like
we literally agree.
Yeah. Maybe like a GR fan will be like outlier lol. So let's see here. Let me see if I can find where he just like falls down. Let me see here. Look, can I find it? Full fight. So let's see here. After he got hit, so here's the initial clash. What does GR do? Does he like go in and speed blitz? What does he do? Right?
Does he do the speed blitz shot against like Gappy or something?
All right. We'll start from here. All right. So what does GR do? Does he speed blitz one shot?
Let's see.
No, he doesn't.
That is not a speed blitz in one shot.
He is. Look at him.
He's literally standing still.
He's casually walking.
He's just walking.
And he's letting Diablo do whatever he wants if he can react in time erase.
Yeah, okay.
You can actually see GR like being affected by time erase too. He's like, he can't. He literally can't do anything.
He's even getting donated.
No, it's just for basically the argument. People like keep arguing that like GR can react. Like
these Jordan literally lets him punch him, like get right next to him.
Lets him use
and then he
does all this like crazy shit. Like it's so stupid.
Real nice blitz in one shot, bro.
Dio, Eyes of Heaven.
And like, yeah, we already agree this is non-canon, but like, there's other GR fans that try to use it.
Because a lot of people try to claim, like, I guess since Araki had, like, supervision of this game, this must mean it's, like, valuable, the character interactions of how they actually fight. So, let's see.
Even if you use canon material, like, yeah, it doesn't look good for GR at all.
So, let's go over this real quick, okay? So, alright, keep in mind, I played the game. The context is everybody here knows that, like, Dio is evil, he's a threat to the multiverse, and they need to stop him. That's the context. Alright, now, let's play it. What does GR do? Why did Johnny make the first move, not GR?
Okay, he's not making the first move already? That's crazy. He lets, like, Over Heaven just, like, punch away his bullets?
Finally! Now he jumps insane. Look at this. Finally. But you see, he literally just... GR clearly didn't make the first move. Jordan didn't make the first move.
He was letting, like Johnny get packed up for a second there, and then he made it.
It's pretty clear. It's, like, not even an in-character thing for, like, Jordan to immediately make a move. Like,
it's not even in-character canon material. Like, that's just great.
Like, obviously, after, like, some time, like, passes, right? Let's say, like, I don't know, like, well, how long? I mean, let's just say a minute. like a minute or 30 seconds, then eventually like Jordan would just move to make an attack. But like, come on, what enemy in fiction is actually just gonna stand there for 30 like seconds or a whole minute just staring?
Chris like Daphne, right? Like in the final fight with like Wonder of You, like he literally shoots him in one panel. Like after he's done talking to like Yasuo, he just shoots him.
Yeah, it's just
People are
crazy.
like Jordan gonna speed blitz in one shot. Like,
But yeah. Anyways, the grand final.
The end?
Oh my
No,
god.
I see it.
Oh god, if there's help, please be merciful to me. Alright, so the grand final, King Crimson doesn't raise time. Holy shit.
let's debunk your first.
No.
Oh
Alright,
my God.
we're all gonna go through this together. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna have to leave soon. Oh, it's getting late for me.
That's understandable, I get it. It says, how do any of these... Wait, what? Immediately state that I agree... I agree that Diavolo is tangible. Whoa, that's a shocker. What the fuck? Usually feel like, nah, he's intangible. He's still immune to all of his actions?
Oh no, he thinks Diablo is tangible. He just thinks everything else is intangible because it's erased.
Oh, because the others are intangible. Okay, interesting. Even though he throws blood in their eyes. Alright, so how do any of these examples prove that tangible events occurred within erased time? Let's start with Mr. Dodging Bullets. It demonstrates to emphasize...
Keep in mind, his interpretation is that there's no causality happening, right? There's no events that are happening. So let's see how he can somehow make sense of things moving with no causality. Let's see how he attempts this, right?
Oh, let's see. It's just making it cool from the Rockies. Yeah, the bullets, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Now, next
So
we
that's
have... It says we have King Crimson dodging Sticky Fingers punch. And if you play close attention to what's happening in manga, you'd notice that King Crimson wasn't actually moving his head out of the way. Rather, the force of the punch
that should be happening though. There's no like causality. How is there?
That's a contradiction because he already erased time. So, bro, that's
Also, go back, scroll up to this first point.
bro. That's
Debunked his argument.
Wait.
Couldn't be.
His argument is unironically, Araki thought it was cool, therefore it excuses all contradictions and I don't have to make a logical argument. That's actually...
Oh my god.
Wait, hold up. What does this even have to do with time erasure? Like, the fact that, like, okay, you dodge some bullets? Like, what the fuck?
He's trying to say, like, deny the tangible aspect or something, but, like, the thing, he contradicts himself right here. So he says, we have King Crimson dodging Sticky Fingers punch. If you pay close attention to what happens in the manga, you'd notice that King Crimson wasn't actually moving his head out of the way. Rather, it was the force of Sticky Fingers punch that pushed King Crimson's head forward. But how would it push his head forward if Diablo was intangible? Look at this. Look, he's saying the force of his head pushed him right to make his head go over. Here, let me.
How is it an intangible object giving force?
Like, that doesn't make any sense. He just debunked himself. That's stupid. What a horrible way to go about this.
Deegan.
Yeah.
Get the translation for like the King Crimson like being intangible thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like,
yep. I'll dig it up.
Let me go over here real quick. Yeah.
Luckily I sent that to Cars. Cause he asked for. Yeah. Here we go. Okay.
Yes.
If someone can dig up the panel, like, because right now I can't do it. Oh, hold up, I might be able to. Let me just...
Hey, I'm going to reread that argument one more time. So, he's saying, next we have King Crimson dodging Sticky Fingers punch. If you paid close attention to what was happening in the manga, you noticed that King Crimson wasn't actually moving his head out of the way. Rather, it was the force of Sticky Fingers punch that pushed King Crimson's head
we already debunked that.
This happened due to Sticky Fingers.
Okay. And
one, you can't have force without causality, and you can't have force with an intangible object. That makes no sense.
All right, posted. I got the panel out in the translation.
All right, where's it?
Okay. It's relevant.
It's in Cafe Tech Shop.
It says King Crimson, while time is skipped, he won't receive the attack from the opponent. Yeah, he's saying he does receive the attack, essentially. It says the user side won't be able to attack the opponent if he utilized to, blind spot the activation ability and beneficial ability for game change. During the activation of the ability, it is impossible to attack. It could state the invincible stand with destruction power and attack avoidance applied. It's like, what's weird, this guy's an idiot. He literally debunks himself. He's saying the force of Sticky Fingers like punches what moved King Crimson's head out of the way. But
how do you have force with an intangible object, and how do you have force without causality?
Yeah, but
exactly.
He doesn't realize.
Yeah.
He's saying the punch moved Diavolo's head in time erase, so that means he's tangible. That's so. Oh my god.
Oh, he thinks King Crimson is tangible, right? And then that the other objects are intangible, but they're still emitting force somehow. Like that makes
Yeah,
sense.
because he thinks basically he's saying that Diablo's tangible, but the things that like let's say everyone else is not tangible, they're intangible. But he's saying the force that applied to Diablo's head to move his head, right, to make the punch go over his head, was the force applied by the punch. But he fails to realize that the punch. He's arguing that the punch moved his head in time erase. So he debunked himself. Like what? Okay.
He debunked himself and he's trying to debunk you too. That's like the even bigger thing.
That's crazy.
How do you do that?
It says
Cherry picking fallacy. Wait, are you kidding me? Is that even a fallacy? Cherry picking.
Cherry picking fallacy.
Is that even a fallacy?
Bro, cherries are awesome. I love cherries.
I love cherries too. Cherry picking.
Are you?
Is that even fallacious? Like, let me look here.
Cherry picking fallacy.
Like definition. It's a. Okay, it is a fallacy. Okay, we're making sure here. It's logically fallacious.
Okay.
So I'll take it as word. Cherry picking.
Okay, we'll take it as a fallacy.
All right.
That's fine. That's fine.
Sorry,
I guess
uses
it'd
fallacy
be
so much.
Also, how would it be?
Yeah.
He's literally presented no evidence as to why, like, he would even be like, why the objects would be intangible in the first place. Like, besides the Aerosmith bullet things, which we're gonna get into right now.
Yeah, and I keep in mind, like, when it comes to like that fallacy, I'm not really cherry picking in general because, like, if we go to cherry picking, right? Because I'm not gonna trust the definition. This was when only select evidence is presented in order to persuade the audience to accept a position, and evidence that would go against the position is withheld. I'm not like the stronger.
Oh, okay. So, okay, there's another term for this. I guess it'd be called confirmation bias.
And that's the thing is like when I
think
because I stated in the video that like I take feats over statements, right? So if something's generally true, like I don't know, like Billy destroying a moon, right, as a feat, and like there's a guidebook saying he like did, or two statements saying he did, I'm gonna take the feat over the statement. And if there's like, let's say Billy destroys a moon, there's one statement supporting it, and there's like three other like statements going against it, I'm just gonna go with the feat and the statements with it.
Yeah.
Even if there's like one feat, like to support, let's say the three statements, there's still 2 feats of Billy destroying a moon with 3 statements. That's like way more than what you've got.
Another thing is, cherry picking doesn't apply to this case because like cherry picking is like when you use select evidence to prove something, but like there isn't just select evidence. Like it's a far more consistent interpretation. Like you just can't have movement with no time, no causality.
Yeah, like
like
type of stuff.
all the evidence that there is. There's like nothing for GER. You're using like all that there is. That's literally not what cherry picking is. It's impossible in this scenario.
Yeah. Oh my god.
As for the actions being meaningless, literally all this means is that Diavolo can move himself and erase time, so like, the attacks won't hit him. Like that. That's all it means.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
We have this infamous Aerosmith.
are basically nullified in erase time, but he already debunked himself by saying like Sticky Fingers fist.
Also, like,
moved his head
look at the
erase
definition
time.
of nullified.
All right.
Definition of it.
This is like the debunk that people are saying like one shot me. I can't believe this. This is man. It makes me lose faith in humanity, or mainly the JoJo community. Okay.
All right.
Making legally null and void.
Okay, look at the second one. That's not really relevant here.
Make
of no use or value. Cancel out, right?
Cancel out.
So he's nullifying the attacks because he can change his position and makes the attacks useless because they can't hit him.
Yep.
So that's all it means in this case.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean literally like erasing the attack from existence. If the attacks are actually erased, then how are they still moving? Like,
yeah, it's also in the guidebook statement, like where it says it can be utilized to stand in the enemy's blind spot. So
it's basically like selective intangibility is just like an unrelated ability that King Crimson has. And we know he just doesn't constantly have it.
Yeah.
He literally debunked himself like via like the Sticky Fingers example.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. He debunked himself. The only reason why Diablo's head moved in time erase was because the force of Sticky Fingers punch in erased time. That's crazy.
Chopper, can you make a meme out of this guy?
He's already
like
a meme. Impossible.
Yeah, he is literally.
Let's see here. It's constantly stated that only the... Wait, this is in response to me just saying, like, all people still exist in erase time. He's saying it's constantly stated that only the user can move in erase time. We already know this is a lie. Okay.
So like all these statements are talking about is when Diavolo says like none can move in a race time besides me. This is just referring to the fact that nobody can change their future, so they just can't move outside of their fated path. That's all he's talking
Yeah,
about.
it's like a river. Basically, it's just like everyone's in the flow of the river, and Diavolo can just exclude himself from that river. Like,
And then like GR can just like flow outside of the river,
yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
he gets.
They're both just fate manipulators, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, like
And, like,
Diablo is
not-
able to go against the current, like if he wishes to, like.
Yeah, they're like super mild fate manipulators.
Yeah, these arguments are not really cooking at all. Not that any of these arguments are cooking. Let's see here.
They're
I'm trying
kinda-
to figure out anything like maybe interesting he brings up. It says the only conclusion one could reach is that nobody is really moving in a race time.
Oh my god! Click on the link.
What?
Click on the link because he literally debunks himself against here.
He
Like
says the characters are like depicted as holograms.
he says, the anime makes a mistake. Look at these. Okay, look at that one panel with sticky fingers, right?
It's
Like
just-
scroll to the like right of that panel.
Right, which one? Right here.
That panel like you're on right now.
Right here.
Right here. Notice how there's a clear distinction between the real sticky fingers and the holographic illusion.
Like, yeah, you can literally see it because every time. Let's say here.
The holograph is simply predicting where sticky fingers is gonna move. Like he's still moving there. He's still moving somehow with no time, no causality, which just shouldn't be logically possible.
Exactly.
It's
And you
basically.
literally see just like the holographic images, like the lower are passive.
Scroll to the right on that panel.
And you see
Yeah, and if he wants to argue like appeal to reality here, then he'd have to like then he'd be arguing essentially for Bruno and like all other
You would
characters
have
to
to
be
be arguing for
inaccessible.
a logical interpretation.
Yeah, like
Either that or
inaccessible
you would have to be
speed.
arguing that, like sticky fingers are inaccessible speed, which is just
Yeah.
like a meme.
Yeah, inaccessible speed, sticky fingers. Everybody's inaccessible speed in JoJo.
You'd have to argue for inaccessible speed bullets, inaccessible speed pillars falling, inaccessible speed zippers, inaccessible speed like everybody in JoJo,
Like even if
like,
even if we weren't to
inaccessible speed like inanimate objects.
yeah.
Yeah, like that's why like Walt doesn't like really seem to know think I guess when he constantly just says appeal to reality. Like if you're gonna take that position, then you'd have to take that other.
Once again, I'm gonna say this. He just doesn't understand. A lot of people don't. Saying appeal to like reality or something being fictional, you can't make a logical argument, right? So, fault like this, you don't the logical you possible like contradictions are false in like all possible worlds.
Yeah. But even
Like, you can't just have an
Yeah.
argument that contradicts itself.
Isn't like one of those things like where he really should have like took time to realize what the implications would mean if he were to like actually take this at face value.
like even if like we're to like say that he's a total projection, he's not like really there. Like it's still a
Right, like, right.
It's still a projection. Like
We see the
so-
difference between a projection and the real sticky fingers, like right there, like it's clearly depicted.
Yeah.
And also the projections are like they're simply predictions of the future, and we know like the future is set in stone in JoJo. So like the projections are simply predicting where he's gonna move. So he's simply moving where the projections. He's still moving, right?
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be
So-
possible.
So
Brain brat.
I have a question about Diablo.
Go ahead.
Does his power work off fated possibility or fated probability?
I mean, can you really call it probability if it's something that's absolute?
Well, that's why I said fated.
I mean,
Could it
like
could it possibly happen or does it probably happen?
I would say like it certainly happens because like
Yeah, they're like fate in JoJo is basically set in stone.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like one of the main consistent themes about JoJo. It's been there since day one.
So so you want to know like the story thumb against them in that case. The moment
Yeah.
anyone accepted the proposition of Diablo being able to probably manipulate fate, that's logged to like within the universe, and obviously that's range. It doesn't mean we're assuming that for power, but that would mean that even by the rules of Part 5, Diablo should still be below universal or planetary.
Holy
Yeah, you
shit.
got that. Yeah, that too.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jobber.
Like yeah, obviously like obviously like the range of King Crimson wins scale to like Diablo's AP. But like
Yeah.
using the logic of, like
It'd be similar to like
Yeah.
time stop.
Pretty
Similar,
much.
my dude.
Like if we were to
Yeah.
go into the interpretation, like he literally just deletes time in a physical sense, and like he'd literally be like deleting the space time continuum, which is like obviously not the case.
Yeah, like people like keep forgetting
Right,
that.
and
Yeah,
then we
fact.
have a statement of him doing explicitly that, which is the sticking. It's the hammer in the coffin, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I think another thing is like once again, even if like let's say the projections, if they're just simply literally just projections, the people weren't there, they still don't have time for themselves, as like Diavolo literally says they don't have time for themselves. Like these projections that he's looking at don't have time for them. So if they don't have time for them, they don't have time to move, and they're moving.
Like look at the very end of that panel.
Like, and he's reacting to them. So regardless of him having time for himself, he still has inaccessible speed because he's reacting to projections that have,
also like
0 speed or 0 second speed.
It doesn't even matter if they're projections. Like, are these projections also moving at inaccessible speeds? Like, it doesn't matter if like King Crimson has a resistance to it.
But
He'd still be reacting to like these inaccessible speed projections.
yeah, exactly. And like remember, Crimson Chariot Requiem. That's retarded. Chariot Requiem. I'm sorry. Would be similar in scale to like GER, and Diavolo, didn't get one tapped by GER, and since he needed help against Polnareff's out of control stand, and he was worried about fighting Diavolo and losing by himself without Jotaro's help. It's kind of restricting Diavolo's power even more when you start to realize both of the Requiem stands kind of set the bar for King Crimson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Like, I think continuing this though, like, cause I don't know, we're so close to being done with this fucking dog, bro.
Yeah, that's the final point.
Okay, so
yeah, the grand finale. Luckily,
it says.
Fortunately, it's the biggest point as well.
It says you can argue that
Death punch.
throwing his blood opponent proves tangibility, but this is misunderstanding.
Yeah, this is Lucid's argument as well. Like the weird part about this is like he's using how crazy Diamond's ability works to justify how Diablo's ability would work, right?
Yeah,
which is just like not substantiated, right? It's never like stated that this is like a universal rule of like how blood works in JoJo. Like this is just within the context of like Crazy Diamond's ability.
That's just the context of it, because like if like they're truly just a projection, then like realistically, because when Diablo throws his blood, there isn't a projection at all. Like here, like I can show. There's no projections to like support this idea. So let's say Diavolo versus Polnar, for example, right? So, and keep in mind his blood should be moving relative to Polnar if they're relative in speed. So, and that should be the general gist of it. Now look, so he's gonna throw blood in his eyes. There's no projection, none. He just throws it. Right? That's it. Now let's go to GER, right? Well, what about that one? Is there a projection when he throws blood in Jorno and GR's eyes? That's it.
No projection,
No projection. Okay, so
you can see like he's holding the blood like in his hand before he throws it.
Exactly right.
Like if that blood was like no longer a part of him, it would have literally just like slipped by him. Like
it would have just casted a projection when he threw it, but it clearly didn't. Right?
No, like he's also holding the blood before he throws it. Like if that blood becomes intangible as soon as it leaves his body, then like how is he holding an intangible thing
like,
with his like, bare hands?
He wouldn't be able to hold it at all. Like it just the argument is nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. So
he already like addressed that he cannot be able to attack.
It's like the equivalent of comparing water to a net. The net's still touching the water.
Yeah, it's just oh my god. Wait, this scene is enough.
Hey, go scroll up a bit.
What's this? This scene's enough to debunk. What was the?
I think you can explain that. I think you can explain that.
Yeah, go back.
I'm trying to say that like okay, he is intangible or is he not intangible? Like
he's
I'm
saying
genuinely
that King
confused.
Crimson isn't intangible, but everything else is intangible because it's literally erased from time.
What? He says this is enough to debunk the first part of your argument.
Okay, so I think click on the link real quick. I think the gotcha is supposed to be the entire world is within that interval is erased. However, look up the definition of world real quick.
You said world?
Yeah, like definition of world, because that also has like multiple meanings.
I think I also have an explanation for that outlier, but I'll wait until after you're doing this.
Alright, here it is.
Okay, so go to the second definition.
Region,
All of the
or a group of living things, or the people, places, activities, particular thing.
so like when he's saying he can erase the entire world, he could just be referring to like the people on the world, right? So it's not inherently like a gotcha at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
So yeah, it's not really like a one shot like he thinks it is.
It's just strange. I mean, like, and keep in mind, like, regardless of Diablo's tangibility, if it's like if Diablo's tangible or intangible or the fuck, it's like he still doesn't like erase like time in a literal sense due to the contradictions. It can be fine that he can be intangible or tangible, whatever the fuck. But no matter what, like, there's a lot of bullets you're gonna have to bite in order to accept him like literally erasing time, right? And there's just things they don't want to accept, right? And these are the loops they're gonna jump through, the crazy loops in misrepresentation.
So let's click on the first link to see what it says.
Let's see.
Only the results remain. Okay.
Because no one notices that time has been erased. Only the result remains. This is in a world where all actions are meaningless. Why would all actions in a world be meaningless? Like, why would that like be the highlight in a world where it says in a world where time has been erased, all actions are meaningless?
Only the results remain,
why would that be
right?
a highlight if there's no actions in the world to begin with?
I think he's trying to say like the cause or actions are being erased, but the problem with that is we literally see movement like on panel and in the anime, so like it can't literally be erased, right?
He's presupposing that a presupposition justifies another presupposition, which justifies another presupposition, which justifies his argument. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. It says the result of Brenda hitting the.
Again, that's not the contention with like that is right. If there's no causality, if there's no like time passing, then how is the like pillar moving at all? How is the pillar crumbling in the first place?
Yeah, like it's
within that
so
erased time.
Because he doesn't even prove that these characters are actually erased either. Really, he just says, "Oh, it just is." Okay, it says we.
If we really wanted to loosely interpret Bucciarati versus Diavolo, then Bucciarati won because he managed to survive and not get killed.
Yeah.
That is true. It says thanks to. Oh no! Come on.
What else?
What else is it say here?
Thanks to heaven, we know that there's a relationship between gravity and time. Einstein's
Okay, that's fine.
Relativity, where gravity is the result of warping time. Okay, cool. It's not both.
Okay.
That JoJo, time and space are probably like. Who did I ever argue against that? That time and space are like are linked or something?
Yeah, he never. Okay, so I see where he's going.
So during time, space is gone. Every time the ability is activated, we see the world shatters and only Bruce space remains. I mean, I already went over that. Like, what's Diavolo walking on if like the world was truly gone?
Yeah, what's Diavolo like? It's just a visual effect.
That's only a visual effect.
Extremified in the anime, like right? In the entire like,
it's only a visual effect.
How is Diavolo walking? How is Diavolo breathing? Like, how is everybody else walking?
No joke, audience, but as a car, he's like, yeah, Diavolo walking. That's just a visual effect. But when he's reaching the world, it's not.
Like, oh yeah, what happens on every panel is a visual effect, right?
that was some smooth brain stuff when I heard that.
That was just insane. Like, how is the world gone and he's still walking like casually?
Yeah, like.
Zelda getting chat, you know.
It says if time is really erased, there'd be no progression. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, I already know my argument. Right? So he says my argument is completely wrong and pretty much illogical. How?
What the heck?
Okay.
Because he's assuming it on top of the other 3 or 4 assumptions.
What the fuck?
It says if the future already didn't exist, then epitaph and area except for precognition would not work. No.
Okay, so that's just a straw man, right? You never said that the future doesn't exist. You said that the contradiction with it being erased time is that there's still progression. Like within the erased time, quote unquote, like there's still progression, meaning it can't be erased time. So he's just like attacking another point entirely, which is just a straw man.
Yeah,
because you never said the future doesn't exist in JoJo.
Like when I say like the future exists, but just not physically. Like
yeah, like it hasn't been manifested yet. You still have to progress toward that.
It's like both a straw man and a red herring here because like this kind of has nothing to really do with your point.
Oh man, this is crazy.
The mere fact that Epitaph shows the Diablo what's going on.
How did he match
Again,
the
that's just
will be wrong?
What?
The
Oh my
idea
gosh,
is
this guy
No!
did it.
he's doing two things. Actually, he's assuming the premise of something Jobber's arguing, but he's also assuming the conclusion of it. I don't mean in the way Jobber argued it. I mean he's assuming the conclusion of something else.
So basically,
He's just like
begging the
attacking a
question.
different point entirely.
I think that'd be begging the question if I'm remembering correctly.
Using propositional
Well,
logic.
Yo, Biggie, get on this guy. He said propositional logic.
Yo,
Oh
propositional
my
logic.
gosh, I am so fucking okay. Oh fuck. Okay. Here's the thing. All right. He is right, but the thing is, Jobber did not say that the future doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah, he didn't say
It's
that.
such a straw man. Like, what the fuck? Like, he is correct and he's using it, but that's like, it's such a straw man that's like, what the hell?
Oh my god.
Like, Jobber never
Yeah,
said
he's
that.
just like, there's not a lot.
It's
to
like
say
a
there.
red herring. Like, here's the thing. He's already, like, he's already, like, it's wrong because he's already assuming, like, something, like, that Jobber said that, the future doesn't exist when he never said that. Like it's wrong.
So yeah, we can just reject that entire point and just ignore it because he's just attacking a different argument entirely.
Yeah, it's
nobody's
fallacious on the fact that he's already assumed, like, something different to what Jobber said. So, like, it falls flat on that alone. Like, nothing much needs to be said.
We're almost done to finishing this.
Oh, we're 34 to 36. We're so close. We're so close. Okay, the sequence, what the fuck is this? Is this poetry? what is this? Like,
what is he trying to prove with this?
The sequence of magnificent.
Why is this having irrelevance?
Why it is relevant? Why does this matter? Like, he doesn't even elaborate on it. Like, what?
It's irrelevant. Relevant.
It's of course that everything in JoJo's predestined, but he fails to ignore.
Nobody's saying otherwise.
Nobody is saying what the Jobber. Okay, hold up. You have two videos on like fate and stuff. Like one of the JoJo cosmology, and the other one was why fate is OP. What the fuck?
I don't even know anymore, man. And
he's just attacking Tony.
What the fuck?
I never went against that. Like fate and JoJo's predestined. What is he talking about?
Also, just keep scrolling. Like he's not. Yeah. He's attacking a different argument entirely than like anybody made. Just keep scrolling down.
And you gave credit to Hamodid as well, so like you clearly talked about fate and stuff.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Forgive the red herring, but you saw what I sent you in DMs, right?
Let me look here.
It's that audio segment you wanted.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got it.
I explicitly said that I wasn't gonna cover what your videos already covered, so
that's fine. All right, let's take.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's not attacking your points at all.
Is he seriously still going on about like fate and stuff? Like
he's still going on about like Jobbers supposedly saying that fate isn't predestined or that fate the future doesn't exist.
Honestly, like.
Well, okay. Here's what it is. It's an arbitration of fate and time, with Poochie and gravity, and then it's another argument where he's trying to say that because one can manifest, why can't the other manifest? And it sounds odd, but he's also assuming that Jobber's saying that again, that like it wasn't predestined. Where the fuck?
Yeah, that fate isn't predestined, but the thing is, that's what fate is.
Yeah.
Nobody's attacking that like at all.
See, it comes down to this one-sided cherry pick. It's what it is. Fundamentally, it's the one-sided cherry pick, where an argument from premise to conclusion was assumed, and then it was cherry picked. That's all it is.
I wouldn't say that's a cherry pick, but more so just like a straw man or like red herring.
No, it's a cherry pick. Like, see, when you straw man something, he has to have made an argument for it to be he's assuming a different argument entirely.
Well, I mean,
this is kind of what he's doing here because
he is.
Jobber
like,
never said
assuming
that
the
future doesn't already exist in JoJo. So he's kind of just attacking an argument that Jobber never made.
See, he's arbitrarily creating another argument.
Yeah, like
that's attacking. That's
why he's misrepresenting it to like that argument, which would be easier to like
that's
debunk.
What I'd consider like a straw man, like attacking a different argument entirely.
Strange. It's just
fair enough.
It's just strange all around. Basically, this whole doc is a Gravity Falls mystery.
Well, it's just the thing. A straw man, by definition, is the misrepresentation of a specific argument. The thing is, he's assuming another argument is misrepresenting that one. That's why that's why I'm calling it a cherry pick. So you're not wrong, but it's technically weird.
Yeah.
It's technically like all three. So
It says,
Yeah.
let's take a video.
It's still stupid shit that he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
No.
It's just the final page.
He's going down.
I failed as a teacher.
He's going down the dialogue tree, the robot dialogue tree.
Okay, let's go by the basic example looking crimson. Now, video is already done and finished, and all the events are the time frame. Now, you, the viewer, see this video.
Like, he's just going down literally everyone uses all the goddamn time. It's just like he's
Flash
botting out.
detected. I can't compute.
It's oh my goodness.
Okay, so we can just scroll past that until your next point because he's just strawmanning you here, just making up a different
How
point.
long is he gonna keep talking about fucking Mega Devil?
Okay, new point finally.
What? Okay. All right.
Diablo doesn't have uni plus their wait. Okay.
Erased. He'd be killing. Okay, this is a big misunderstanding. Diablo doesn't have universal plus durability because space.
Okay, so nowhere is it stated that Diablo doesn't exist. It's just stated he has a resistance to his own abilities, so he can move in it freely. So that's just.
He's saying that. Look, he's saying Diablo doesn't have universal plus durability. Okay, wait. I'm just confused here. Wait, he's saying. Okay, this is a big misunderstanding. Diablo doesn't have universal plus durability because his space time / it's not being erased. No, that's not the point. He's erasing space time in general. And the ability allows him to have time for himself. Right?
So
that's
okay.
He's missing the point of what I was saying that for. Oh my God. Basically, the ability is able to, let's say for example, this ability is able to protect him from whatever happens due to the effect of his ability, which is erasing space time. Is my point. That's the point of universal plus durability. He's immune to that entire effect, right?
Yeah, that's just
actually. Do you mind if I make an argument?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
So you know how GER's whole shtick is that he's taking causality which pre-exists to begin with, and he's just fiddling with it a little bit.
Yep.
Remember, once GER got him under control, there was no way Diavolo managed to resist. So if anything, it shows he's causal.
I guess that too.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Yep.
As for this next point, he never proved people don't exist at all, so we could just ignore that.
Seen that in this doc, so.
Yeah, he never proved that.
And he says so they don't have, and we already disproved the notion that even if, they don't even need to exist to have an inaccessible speed at bare minimum, because Diablo states that these projections don't even have speed for themselves. They don't have time for themselves, and they're moving, and he's reacting to them.
Okay, so Diablo is reacting to the action.
He says the actions that should have happened if he hadn't reached time, the actions that would have had normal times. So that's still debunking.
How can you have normal time?
What the heck?
So
then that means the projections will still be moving at inaccessible speed.
What?
This is crazy.
How can you have actions moving in normal time and then no time passing? I don't understand it. He's just contradicting himself.
It's because he's assuming the projections work as basically Mass Effect superheated light particles, where they act as hard light shields and shit. And
it's not even that. They literally just predict the future. The projections are still where they're going to move to.
Yeah, it's still ultimately just a projection fallacy. He's arguing.
Yes. Because it's been said many times, they are just basically just moving towards their fated path. With Diablo being the only one unbound to fate during those 10 seconds.
Yeah. It says, oh no, he's copy pasting. Nope. Okay, let's just get a conclusion. he said copy paste right here. I'm like, nope.
He just copy pasted.
Alright. So
the bonus.
Oh wait, there's a bonus.
No.
God damn it! I just want it done.
Made the following statements. Dan.
We're eating well tonight, aren't
we? already addressed this.
Oh, we already addressed this. Oh.
Okay. All right. Good.
Okay. Good. All right. So in conclusion, Diablo truly wastes time, and since your rotisserie worked in a place where there is no time, his speed should be inaccessible. Okay. So we already kind of disproved this notion, but here, just to give another summary, Diablo erasing time, right, is just more so based on perception. There's no proof that he's actually erasing the people. For example, they still for example, they show the people still are existent, right? And if you want to say that these people are truly getting erased, that would imply that this ability is just literally killing them and bringing them back, right?
And also, even if he did literally erase time, RTZ wouldn't have inaccessible speed because it only activated after his ability finished. So
plus if he's plus if he's erasing time, there'd be nothing to progress because there's no time to progress.
Yep. And we just showed like how he literally debunked himself via like the sticky fingers example, where he's somehow claiming that you can have a tangible object have a physical force that's interacting with something else within 0 time and causality.
That's like basically it's kind of like arguing that like he's arguing that in 10 seconds 0 seconds can move.
Yeah.
Or something stupid like that. It's like, okay.
This conversation's fucking gay as fuck.
It is. But we're done with it.
Welcome to Reddit, Jojo. How can we help? I'm sorry, kill you.
Oh my gosh.
You should kill yourself
Jobber,
now.
Jobber, did you see the screenshot I sent you yesterday?